Good evening.
Hello.
And welcome. We're back in 1984, folks.
Oh, bugger more.
Paul's got a beard. Paul's gone. He's had enough. Yeah, welcome everyone to Thfc Till I Die. Your home at Tottenham, past, present, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going all the way back to 1984. We are showing you what winning a cup looks like, and just let me share this up now and let me get this going. If it works, let me turn the sound down, and there you go. Yeah, we are going back to 1984. We're going back to the UEFA Cup final, and Paul, what a joyous night it was.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it? Wasn't bad.
A team full of ifs and bits, if you would say it, wasn't it? It was more a couple of first team regulars, but a lot of unknowns, like young Mickey Hazard. We had, who else we have in there?
Gary Abbott, Gary Stevens.
I'll tell you the team. It was Tony Parks in goal, Danny Thomas, Graham Roberts, Paul Miller, Chrissy Houghton, the back four. Gary Stevens, Gary Abbott, Mickey Hazard and Tony Galvin in the midfield, and Mark BAVCK and Steve Archibald up front. On the substitute bench for us was Ozzy Ardiles, Grant Crooks, Mark Bowen, Ali Dick and Ray Clements. So that was the Spurs lineup. And a lot of teams there, wasn't there? A lot of play. Glenn Hoddle wasn't playing in this final.
Yeah, no Glenn, no Ozzy, no Stevie P.
No. I know it was and also it was Keith Birkinshaw's last game in charge, of course, at Tottenham Hotspur. Do you know? Did we make a mistake letting him go, Paul? In hindsight,
sorry,
did we make a mistake in letting him go?
Keith Birkinshaw. I think he just didn't get on with Irving Scholar. I think Irving Scholar was like sticking his nose into football matters. And that's not what Mr. Birkinshaw was all about. So I don't think it was a question of letting him go. I think it was just the circumstances. But, I mean, if he'd have stayed, I mean, we had a great season the next season. And then then the wheels started falling off a little bit. But, no, he was really good at assembling that jigsaw puzzle, wasn't he, you know?
Yeah, it was something. I just want to welcome in Wayne Bonner. Big up, Wayne. He says, good evening, all. Good to see you again. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a very long time. Yeah, more than 3 hours, I think, since I last saw you, Wayne. But we thought we'd do this every Tuesday night, and there is the team up in front of you.
Boy.
I'll tell you one thing. And look at the old White Hart Lane as well, Paul.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I miss that place so much. I really do. Don't get me wrong, the new stadium's lovely, but this one is just unreal. It really is.
There's something very special about White Hart Lane and the midweek games, the evening games. They were just electrifying.
It was also it was a stat here. We never lost at home in the European game up to this point.
Oh, is that right? Huh. Oh, it's just me again. Hello. Yeah, and it's a special night because we don't get this. No fan gets the chance to see their team win a European Cup at home now, unless you're really lucky, and it's where it's being held anyway. Here we go.
Yeah, hang on. Just let's take it back there. Let's take it back there now. Hang on. Let's get it. There we go. Before my computer decided to play its thing. But yeah, I just thought I'd do this every Tuesday evening. Just bring back an old game and just watch it and relive the good times. There's Graham Roberts. Look at him.
Well, it's something I often do after we have a crappy game these days. I think, oh no, I need to top up my Spursness, and I'll stick on an old game. There's a good channel. I think it's called Spurs 1991C, and they have loads and loads of old clips of Tottenham. It's fantastic.
Also, I want to give a massive shout out to Doc Jive One. Has gone across the bottom of your screens. Please get over to his YouTube channel. There's loads of stuff there. Tottenham internationals. There's everything there. So please, everyone get over to his channel. Paul, where were you at this time?
I was at home, so this game was probably, I reckon, the catalyst for me to start going to Tottenham games. It was really a mate of mine in school that was a Spurs nut, and so from 84, 85 towards the end of that season, that's when I started going. But I think this is what really captured our attention, this game.
We had such a great side, though, didn't we? We really
incredible. Did. It's funny now you look back, like at the time, because you had, no Glenn and Ozzy and players like that. It was like, it almost looks like a second string team. But you look at it now, it's nice, a bloody good team.
Yeah, I mean, even Gary Stevens, England international, didn't start with us, went to Everton, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a funny. He was like a utility player, and he had a bit of injury, unfortunately. But he's one of those players. It was good for a team to have one of those players that, okay, not spectacular, but he could do a job wherever you stuck him on the pitch. Very, very useful to have in your back pocket or as a substitution as well.
But I love watching these old games. Sort of brings back the memories, doesn't it? And it brings back the. But I was saying earlier that I've probably got more than one eye on next season, Paul, if I be bluntly honest.
Yeah, I think so. I know what you mean, man.
Look, it's we're gonna go there. Do you know what I mean? Go on. Well, the one name I love on the team sheet is Ali Dick, the substitutes bench. I mean, what a name. What an absolute name. I mean, that for me. We have Moondog in. Big up Moondog. He says, good evening, lads. I was watching this the other day. Yeah, I think this match you can watch and watch and watch and watch again. Of course, for Anderlecht, they had Sifo, a very young Sifo at this point, playing for them. Went on actually to play for Belgium, I think, in the '86 World Cup. Who's your favourite players around this time, Paul? Who are you players you were having up on your wall? Or
I mean, Steve Perryman, Glenn and Ozzy. I think Ozzy was kind of my favourite, especially when I started going to games and seeing him. He was just he was quite a character on the pitch. Mickey Hazard. I mean, that was the sign to me that the wheels were falling off Spurs when we sold Mickey Hazard and we sold. The players we sold: Graham Roberts, Tony Galvin. I was just thankful I got to see a few of those players before they moved on. I think when I was going, Steve Perryman was he was coming towards the end of his career at Tottenham. He was starting to slow up a little bit, but I don't know. It was an amazing team, man. It really was.
It was.
You can see they're up for it. Look at the way they're playing, man.
It's a shame that I tell you, the team today should watch this. We've got Paul Brown, Evening Dermot and Paul. No nostalgic game. Yeah, we thought we'd go back through the years and we thought we'd bring Paul out and just wheel him out, being an old Spurs fan and just plumping in front of the telly and just say, there you go, Paul. Watch that. And Paul's quite happy having his dinner and watching the game.
Breakfast, man.
Yeah, breakfast, yeah. I keep forgetting it's early in the morning for you. What a way to wake up in the morning, an old Spurs game, get you in the mood for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, old Anderlecht are going for it as well here, aren't they? I haven't watched this full game for ages, man. I've watched the highlights, but I haven't watched watched it like this. This is going to be cool.
See are they after you, Paul? To see the sirens behind you?
Yeah, they're after me, man.
They're after all Spurs fans.
Yeah. Ooh.
What was your thoughts at the time, Paul? I'll give you my thought. I mean, I was a young lad at the time, but I remember thinking, oh, Jesus, Ray Clements is not playing, and Glenn Hoddle's not playing, and Steve Perriman's not in the side. God, we're going to struggle. Do you think this team sort of went, do you think, A, they were playing for Keith Birkinshaw? And B, do you think the team was thinking, right, come on, we've got to show them that we're worth our place?
Yeah, I think they're doing it for their captain as well, because Steve Perryman was suspended after the first leg, which was a joke. So I don't know. I think it was the whole fact it was Keith's last game. It was a European Cup final at home. I think that just put a few extra gallons of gas in their tank.
Yeah, to this day, we're still unbeaten. Oh, well, Paul's gone again. We're still unbeaten, actually, and playing UEFA Cup finals at home. So there you go. We've got Shamu. How are you watching the Man City game? And this is on. I'm watching the updates on my phone. That's how I'm watching it. But Shamu, if you want to jump on and join us for this watch on, let me know and I'll send you the link, man. Let us know if you'd like to join us for this. Yeah, look, for me, Paul, I do you think this was the time where it just, the rumblings of what was going to happen sort of at the end of the 80s was just starting to, the roots were being put in, if you know what I mean, for what was
for sure. Yeah, well, Scholar took over in '83, didn't he? Bought out the Wales or Richardson families, and that was when we started moving away from being a football club to being a business. Unfortunately, Irving Scholar wasn't even a very good businessman.
And they complain about Daniel Levy sometimes.
We got into, we bought Hummel UK and this and that and God knows what. And, we started becoming more of a selling club, selling like the players I mentioned, Mickey Hazard and Graham Roberts, people like that. I mean, Mickey Hazard was the biggest joke selling that guy, because then Glenn Hoddle went a couple of years later, and it would have been nice to have had Mickey around to replace him straight away,
Yeah, I just don't know. Steve Archibald for me was a great player. I love Steve Archibald, and Tony Galvin as well. What a player!
Yeah, I think Steve Archibald might have been one of the players that really attracted me into Tottenham in the early '80s. There was something about him, He was a bit different.
Had his problems with Birkinshaw, didn't he?
Of course, yeah. I think a lot of players did, but yeah, that's going to happen. But he had a great career at Tottenham, and then had a great career in Barcelona.
Yeah. Did you read their news about they're being done for allegedly bribing the refereeing union over there, so they get decisions and things like that?
When was this? Sorry, what?
Yeah, the other day, the Spanish government have charged Barcelona with misconduct or corruption or something along them lines. I've got it in here. I've got it in the bandits here. I'll get the top story exactly what it is. Where is it now? Yeah, Spurs government have taken action against Barcelona for allegedly buying referees' favours. Barcelona were charged with corruption and fraudulent management after being alleged have paid a referees' organisation. I mean, God knows what they were trying to do, to be fair.
Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. I'm just waiting for something to happen in the Premier League. There's too much money in it now for there not to be some shit. Oh, well in there, Tony.
Good save.
There's just too much money in it for there not to be a bit of skullduggery going on. And, I mean, that's going to be a sad day when it happens, when we find out what we've been watching or what we think we've been watching turns out not to be the truth.
I tell you one thing. I love the way people put toilet paper into the game with them, and they just suddenly just threw it onto the pitch. I mean, what happens if you needed it at home? You'd be really stuck, wouldn't you? We've got David Clark. Mark Falco was very underrated outside the Spurs family. Yeah, he was, David. He really was very underrated.
Oh, he was a snappy little player, Mark Falco.
He was. He was thinking was brought in to replace Archibald or Archibald or Crooks, wasn't he? Because I think Crooks went next season, didn't he? 84, 85.
Yeah, we loaned him to Man United for a bit, which was a bit weird. Because I remember that. It was like, because I think we were about third or something like that. And Man United were about, I think, second or fourth. And we loaned him, and I think we got Alan Brazil or something like that. But it was weird. And we just loaned Crooks out to a competitor.
Alan Brazil was a great striker for Ipswich, but Jesus, he was bad for us. But he was always injured.
Yeah.
He went to Man United, I think, then, Alan Brazil after that.
Yeah.
I think he ended his career at United. But I don't know. I love watching these old games. And I actually have found the full footage for the 91 FA Cup final as well.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. It's a shame that the 91 was. It's kind of a bit overshadowed by the semi-final. But the thing I remember about the 91 final is that if you weren't a Tottenham fan, everyone in the country wanted Nottingham Forest to win because Cloughie hadn't won an FA Cup.
Yeah.
So yeah. I remember a mate of mine even saying to me at the time, "Isn't there a little bit of you that wants Brian Clough to win?" It's like, no, not this year, no way.
No. Oh Lord, I know. Wayne Bonner. And let me bring it up again. Wayne Bonner, if that's true about Barcelona, then give them a fine points deduction and relegate them. Yeah.
Relegate them, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough.
Wayne Bonner, I love Archibald, had passion and always got stuck in when he had to. He had a great partnership. Him and Crooks, I mean, Paul, we'll talk about this for a while.
Crazy, man.
Crazy. And Crooks, what a partnership.
Yeah.
Honestly, God, they were lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Like, I mean, growing up, like there weren't that many games on TV.
No.
So, but it was always a treat when Spurs were on, and I mean, Crooks and Archibald, you just knew they were going to score, didn't you? What did they each get, about 20 each or something? Or I don't know. They got it was ridiculous amount of goals.
It really was. And then we've got Moondog. My favourite was Martin Shivers. Well, there you go. You can't beat a bit of Shivers.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like Shivers was a little bit before my time, but I have watched lots of clips from him, and I've heard some people say he's put him in a similar echelon to Glenn Hoddle, and I get it when you see him play. He was a hell of a player, Martin Shivers.
He really was. Next week, let me know in the chat. I'm thinking of doing the 71 League Cup final or the 73 League Cup final, the one we played.
I better get. If I'm watching that, I have to get a bit of Alan Gilzean on my hair happening here, you know?
Yeah. The 71 and 73 is the one when Shiver scored 2 goals. The other one I can get is the one where Comb Over Man sort of comes over. I swear to God, that man. Ralph Coates, right? Swear to God, I was watching one old game, right, one night for the channel back in when it started this.
Hang on, I'm getting excited by the game. Bad, isn't it?
Mickey
I know what the fucking score is, but I'm still getting excited.
I tell you, Mickey Hazard is a perfect gentleman. We had him on the show. What a lovely man. Absolute lovely fella. And I saw this fella come on. I thought, I don't recognise this player. Who's this player? It doesn't look like Ralph Coates. Within 5 minutes, it was Ralph Coates because his hair was one side and he had a big bald patch. No offense, Paul. Big bald patch, and his hair was sort of like flapping sort of to the left and right. There's Ralph Coates. Mambert will always
he said his comb over was useful for taking free kicks because he could tell the wind strength and direction because of his flappy hair.
I wouldn't put it past him. There you go. Tottenham clear up there. Mambert will always be my favourite, but Roberts is a close second. Graham Roberts was one of my favourites as a kid growing up. That's one player I'd love to get on this channel was Graham Roberts. Because some of the stories he would tell, I mean, Jesus, it would be unreal. David Clark, Graham Roberts may not have been world class, but I wish today's Spurs had a player with his bigger winning. That's the point, isn't it, Paul?
I mean, Roberts had such focus. They all did, but that's the thing I remember about Roberts. It was like when he'd set his mind to something, like a run up the pitch. There was no stopping him. You just couldn't stop him.
And that's the thing. They had a winning mentality. Today's players, I mean, look at them now.
Look at them all running. Here we go.
Look at them.
All moving. Look at this.
He's still got the ball.
Look at that.
Oh, he was mental.
How do we get a free kick for that? Oh, there's a bit of silly bollocks there.
Crooks, David Clark said Crooks' pace was astonishing. Yeah, that's so true. Wiley wasn't. It's true. Wayne Bonner says Roberts wasn't afraid of getting stuck in doing. We just saw that. Was afraid of doing the dirty work. Not for sure. Shivers' goals was 71 against Villa. Yeah, that's right. That's the game I think I'll show next week. we'll go back to Bill Nick's sort of era. I think next week, Paul, we'll go, but we'll dust off our 70s gear, and we'll just
yeah.
And pretend that we're back in the 70s. I tell you, one thing I've always wanted to know from you, Paul, is I will look into this, and I am going to do a show on this one day. Is the fans, how they changed between the 60s, the 70s, and 80s? Do you think it was more society had changed and the fans changed with it? Was it more society? It was how the supporters were. It was how society was, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it was always a working class game, wasn't it?
Mm.
And one thing I haven't really found much luck is finding decent footage of the shelf, because the TV cameras were always on the same side as the shelf. So they're always looking at the posh stand with the executive boxes. But you see old films and fans in the 60s, and I don't know, maybe it was because there was less football on TV, but the only time you could ever see a game was either the FA Cup final or if you went to a game. Is this frozen or am I just rabbiting? I'm just rabbiting. Okay, I'm rabbiting. I think when it really, I think the biggest change for me was when it went Premier League and when it went ultra safe. So when stands were made all-seater. Oh, hello. Stands were made all-seater. That took a lot out of the game for me. I understand things about safety and all that, but I preferred terraces. They were much more fun. It was like being in a big mosh pit. Hello, we're coming back here, are we? Is he back?
I am back.
Come back. Stay away from the light, Dermot. Come away. Don't go into the light. And also, football back then was also really affordable. So it was only a couple of quid to go and see a game, which even in today's terms, it'd be like 10 quid. It's nothing. So it really was. It really was a game for the fans. If you wanted to go, you could go. And I think that's been watered down a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, my computer keeps somehow freezing. I think I've got to tomorrow at some point uninstall everything and just start again with it. I think. Oh, look at that! There's Gary Stevens. Moondog. How great was Martin Peters in the air? He was good, to be fair. Oh yeah, sorry, Stephen Thomas. Did you talk about Stephen Thomas's quote there, Paul?
We should have been playing first, but
yeah, because they got the Anderlecht. Actually, one of the directors got done for he bribed the referee in the second leg of the semi-final. So really, we should have been playing Nottingham Forest in this final.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like it when it's teams from different countries. The Champions League annoys me when you get two English teams playing in the final. That just doesn't. How can that be champions when you've got two teams from the same country? Just makes no sense to me. I think the European, the format of the European competitions at this time was much better. Yeah. They were all prestigious cups. They all meant something different, and they were all important to win. Whereas now, you got the Champions League, which is like a mixture of the European Cup and UEFA Cup, and then you got the other Mickey Mouse things.
Yeah, the Cup Winners' Cup. We got how great was Martin Peters in the air? He was brilliant in the air, Martin Peters. Came to replace, of course, Jimmy Greaves, but great in the air. David Clark says, Scholar ended Roberts' international career because he told Roberts to get even meaner. He and Mabbutt was England's partnership, and when Roberts had red cards for Spurs, England dropped him. Well, it shows how much bloody Ivan Scholar knew about football, didn't it? He knew fuck all.
Yeah, I mean, who was playing for England at that time? Because I think we did have some good centre halves. Was Terry Butcher around there or Ray Wilkins?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I mean, obviously I'm biased towards Roberts, but there was a lot of good English defenders around then.
Look at this from Gary Stevens. Look at it. Go on, son. Oh.
Have a crack, mate.
How sick must Glenn Hoddle felt missing this tonight?
Yeah, well, I think he was out for a fair bit this season, wasn't he? I think. Because I remember, 84, 85, we had a good season. I think we finished third in the league. You know, we had strength back. But we were up and down as usual with Spurs. Oh, here we go.
What's happening? Oh, he's gone again. Anyway, David Clark, Martin Peters ghosted into the box and the opponents always saw him when the ball was in there. Yeah, that's so true, David. That is so true. What, are you watching this on your phone, Paul? Your phone keeps overheating.
Yeah, like sometimes it's random StreamYard streams. Like the audio goes funny after about 10 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't at all, but sometimes it does. So yeah, I'm watching it on my phone. I'm in bed, getting over COVID still. It's just dragging on. Bloody hell.
Yeah. Are you in isolation?
Oh yeah, I have been. You don't have to, but I prefer not to make other people sick. So yeah, I've had my daughter doing food drops for me, so it's all been cool.
How many more days you got isolation left?
Well, I'll sort that out when I feel better.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm old school, Dermot. You know, it used to be back in the day when, 30 years ago, when you were sick, you didn't go to work. And then that changed into everyone's a bloody martyr and sits there with a box of tissues infecting everyone.
Well, when I was sick, I still went to work, but I worked in the middle of the fresh air, so it didn't really bother me.
Oh, there you go. Oh, here we go. Swing that one in.
Go on.
Oh!
Close from Mabbott there, I think.
Why are we getting excited over this, man? It's funny, isn't it?
Look at these two idiots getting excited over a game that we know the result.
Over a 40-year-old. Yeah, I know we won it. But, it's 40 years ago as well. God, 40 years ago.
Oh, Lord. I'm glad. I enjoy when I do these on the channel. These are my favourite streams to do. Just getting an old game, getting a few of them on and just talking about it and just enjoying it. And the people in the chat seem to enjoy it as well. So, well,
it's important to remember your history, isn't it? Football isn't just about kicking a ball about. It's about life, isn't it? And this is part of it. The legends and I find it weird that like our history. Well, for me, my history only kind of goes back as far as it was televised or filmed. It'd be lovely to see more footage of the push and run side, or I think there is. I was seeing the other day there was a movie tone reel of the 1921 Cup final.
Yeah, I did see that.
But and that's something always. When people there seems to be a fad these days for people to talk about the greatest of all time, and well, we don't know because football's been going over 100 years, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I'm just going to put a poll in the chat. What was your best Spurs final? Now, I am going to give you a quote. So we're going to go 1981. 1982, or not 1980, 72, 1982, 1984, or I'm going to put a controversial one here. Now, we didn't win this, 1987.
No. I know it was a good game, but I've never watched it again.
Yeah, 1991. So there you go. What was your best Spurs final? 81, 82, 84. I mean, you look at that, Paul, and within a 10-year period, we won 4 trophies in 10 years.
I watched the '82 replay the other day. It was a cracking game, an absolutely cracking game, man.
That is game I love watching the '70s stuff. We've got David Clark. Christ, how tall is that linesman? Yeah, he was very tall. Can you see Daniel Levy in there? Hang on, he was a fan apparently around this time. Where was he standing? Apparently, he was standing in the east stand in the shelf end. Apparently.
Oh, no, it's nice watching this. There's something about the old TV quality. The adverts don't move around the pitch. I remember when I first saw moving adverts around the pitch, I couldn't handle it, man. I found it so distracting.
Was that dog? That dog kept running around the pitch to start with. It was that dog.
Dude.
Yeah. We've got Adrian Soccer. I was there in '84. Do you know what? So was I. I was there myself that day. David Clark, 61. We actually have got footage of that final, David.
Oh yeah, that's a good. There's a good film about that. Yeah,
we've actually got the whole. I found where I can get the whole game, the '61 Cup final, the whole game, which we have shown in here before. But I tell you what, David, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, we'll bring that on. We'll do a '61 special for you. I might move it to the Wednesday so Philip Brady can be on as well. Wayne Bonnet, the '87 final was a great game. I
remember it as being a great game, but I just can't watch it again. I just can't.
Wayne. What am I going to do with you? I don't know. Christopher Inshaw, 8-1 replay, 2 video goals. Yeah. What was better, the first or the second?
Oh, second, come on, man. I mean, the first one was good, though, because of Aussie's little setup. But the second one, I mean, that was just crazy. That was one of those.
Have you ever noticed that the back, Garth Crooks, actually, when Ricky Villa hits that ball in the net, he's actually at the back doing the same thing himself?
Yeah, he's doing a little assist, isn't he? A little ghost kick.
Yeah. Adrian Soccer, the '67 FA Cup final would beat Chelsea 2-1. Yeah, the first London Cup final, I think, in history. We did.
Final way.
And then we got Swimster. Late '70s. I seem to recall having replays with altering them. Think the FA Cup. Do you recall any of that?
Not myself, no.
Not myself either. No.
But I do remember that, FA Cup, the number of bloody replays you could have. It just kept on replaying and replaying and replaying.
Yeah. Wasn't it Forest in the night on the way? They replayed, what was it, Palace 3 times or something on the way to that final? I think it was something like the third round. They sort of replayed 3 or 4 times. They just kept replaying it and replaying it. No, we don't. But let us know who won. Swim Master. We've got Shamu Haaland, 2 goals in 77 seconds. Who they're playing? I don't know.
Is that a Champions League game, is it?
Yeah, I've got no interest in Champions League anymore. Sorry. Wayne Bonner, replaying the '81 was better than the first game because we turned up. I don't think it was because we didn't turn up in the first game. I think we were nervous. I think that's what. I don't know if you agree, Paul, with that first final.
Yeah, like that. What I remember about that team is that, like, when we didn't have a good result, I don't think it was because we didn't turn up or lack of effort. It was just because it was such a creative side, and sometimes that just doesn't fire for some mysterious reason.
Yeah, I love
but then
that.
It sure did fire in the second game.
Yeah,
so the first game was just toughing it out. Basically, we were a bit fortunate. Well, we were very fortunate, but we got it through.
Yeah, I love that. Rizzler, look at that big advertising board for Rizzler. RB Leipzig. Yeah, that's right. That's who they're playing. The German side. Yeah, I tell you, we've had a bit of the good of the first half here. We haven't really struggled. We haven't let them have much of the ball. Go on, Danny Thomas.
Don't get your hopes up yet, Dermot.
Oh no, I always get my hopes up.
I have a feeling Anderlecht might nick one.
Do you know what? I have the same feeling as well, Paul. I don't know why. I just got this sneaking feeling. In the second half, I think round about the start of the second half, I think they do. But don't quote me on it.
While you were off having computer fights there, I was just talking about something. I mean, something I would love to see is really good footage of the shelf, because whenever matches were televised, the cameras were always on the same side as the shelf. So you never got to, you'd come home and watch Match of the Day after you'd been to a game, and you'd never see the proper atmosphere, because they'd always be looking at the executive boxes. Those buggers never clapped or did anything in that stand,
Did it? Yeah, we do. And I'm going to put a poll up probably next Monday, what game we're going to play next Tuesday. But if that is, we have got the game, so we will be showing that as well. Because I know a lot of people haven't watched that one. And we beat them in 79, 3-0. Ooh, Altrincham. There's Graham Roberts. Look at him. For me, he was... Look, everyone bounce around like Mr. Tottenham. And, for me, there's only one. That's Bill Nick and probably Steve Perriman, if you could put them together. But we were never really a league side, were we? We were always a cup side. And we seem to have lost that now. We seem to be a nowhere side. Do you look back in these games and just think, why can we not be like this?
Oh no! It was like we could always beat a team over two legs. That was Tottenham, and it's not like we were bad in the league. We finished third a few times when I used to watch it as a kid and growing up. But you got to remember, you had a team like Liverpool knocking around at that time who were just consistent and brilliant. So it would have been nice to have pinched a title in one of those off seasons, like when Villa did it, or Everton maybe. But then that Everton side was brilliant as well. But
didn't we chase Everton one year for the league?
Yeah.
Was that 80?
That was 85.
85, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't it go down to them coming to us? Whoever won that was going to probably go for the league.
I can't remember. I remember our league titles kind of fizzling out a few weeks before the end. What I might be wrong on that, but that's because we used to play so many cup games as well. Like in '87, we got through the semi-finals of the League Cup, and I think we played Arsenal about bloody 10 times in that semi-final.
I loved I loved how they bring up the score, the timer. I used to love that, because now when you watch a football game or you're watching Spurs, you're constantly looking at the timer, especially if you're losing. How long we've got left? How long you got left? In the old days, you just didn't know.
Didn't know, man.
It's like watching the Formula One as well. Now they have it up on the screen with how many laps have gone. Years ago, they didn't have that, and I preferred it back then. I think it took your mind away from what you're watching, to be fair.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you there. It's like I find watching this, or like you say, the old school Formula One, it's more immersive. Whereas now there's just all this shit on the screen everywhere. Like Formula One, the races, it felt like they lasted for about 4 hours, and you just get a little flash up every 10 laps of where the cars were, and it was always 2 laps out of date.
And Murray Walker, a bit like, getting it complete. We've got a super chat here for Moondog, Paul.
Lovely.
Right, do you want to read it out? Go on. You read it out. Well, big up Moondog.
I look back at these games and feel sad. Well, I get what you mean there, Moondog, but it's also a reason to feel happy, I think, as well. This is what Tottenham's about. And I think the more people that watch games like this, we've got more chance of bringing this back.
Don't be sad. Always look on the bright side of life, Moondog. We were good once and we can be good again. But big up for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I mean, it's better than, supporting West Ham. What the fuck are you going to watch if you're West Ham? 2 games? We've got a load of games we can watch.
I mean, seriously, while we're watching this, we might as well talk about the whole Premier League, Paul. How do you think this season's gone as a whole, Premier League-wise? It's been really exciting, has it? I mean, you got...
No. Well, as far as Tottenham goes, I've been really disappointed, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Did you start? I mean, I know we all started this season with so much. You know, we're going to win the league or do the double or do the treble. We all went on to Dave's channel, didn't we? Or said it on here. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. And I think after the Forest, when we lost the Forest away in the League Cup, I think you started thinking, it's going to be one of them seasons. And then you get the defeat at Arsenal, and you're thinking, yeah, it definitely is going to be one of them seasons. And then we got the FA Cup, and then the league. I think what's made it so disappointing that we went out of 2 competitions in such a short space of time. And the FA Cup was ours for the taking this year. It really was.
Yeah, that game against Sheffield United, that just broke me for the season, basically. I'm still going to watch the games and I want us to win, but that just said so much about modern-day Tottenham.
Yeah.
And it was horrible.
It's not like watching this, is it, Paul? You get so excited. Even now, I'm sitting here now. This game must be at least 40. Well, I'm 46, and this was played in 84. So what we're looking at, 42 years ago?
39.
40,
John.
The 40th anniversary. Oh, Paul's gone again. 40th anniversary. Jesus. Honest to God. 40 years not winning. They complain about 15 years not winning a cup. We haven't won a European trophy in 40 years. Fuck. Swim Master Moondog, I just seem to remember lots of replays with Altrincham. Maybe it was over consecutive games or near each other, but definitely a bogey team. Wasn't replays at neutral stadiums. No, the replays. Say we play in Nottingham Forest and we do 1-1 them in the FA Cup, and it was the same in the Milk Cup, what it was called back in the day. It was always played at each, say, White Hart Lane or the City Ground, White Hart Lane, City Ground. It was played. It was, unless I don't know why it was played on the neutral ground. I think the only game I remember being played in neutral ground was in the 70s when Man United went away to France, and it caused a load of trouble. And UEFA banned them from playing home. I forget who they were playing. I think they were playing the French side. And they had to play the game at Main Road for some reason. Can't remember. But that's BAVCK. But yeah, usually it's played White Hart Lane or the City Ground or White Hart Lane. That, if you know what I mean. Christopher Inshaw, big up, sir. Problem with sport now, it's all stats now. That's the problem, isn't it, Paul?
It kills me, Christopher. Kills me. I just, I watch football with my eyes. I'll give you a funny example of a statistic, and it was I think it was the Aston Villa Stevenage game, and they had up on the screen the percentage win, and it was 98% Aston Villa with 2 minutes to go. Well, what use is that? Stevenage scored 2 goals. I mean, what does that tell you? Absolutely nothing.
No.
And the thing for me, stats, I don't even know what an XG is. I don't care. I don't want to explain to me. I hear people talking about it. I don't give a shit. The stats only tell you what's happened in the past, and they don't tell you under what circumstances they've happened as well. Were we under pressure? Were we coasting? It's just meaningless to me.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Google it now.
Don't take your soul with that shit.
No, the Tottenham Altrincham replay.
Oh, okay. Right. Cool.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
I thought you could Google XG.
No, I'm not going to Google XG. I'm not that fucking... I'm like you. I'm old school.
And the biggest joke... Because I've seen this a few times, because I've seen it on streams where they bring up this website. Is it SofaScore?
Yeah.
And it's like this automated algorithm thing, and it rates the players. And the ratings it gives the players makes no sense to what I see on the pitch at all.
Right, I found it. And Swim Master is absolutely bang on the money. It says 16th of January 79, Main Road. Why they played it at Main Road? Maybe they couldn't play it at the own stadium. Maybe the stadium wasn't. Maybe they played in the middle of a park or something. Third round replay, 3-0 to Tottenham. Attendance 27,000. This was following a 1-1 draw at White Hart Lane on the 10th of January 79, where Altrincham held them to a 1-1 draw. So, yeah, you're right, Swim Master. Big up, man.
Those attendance figures, I always reckon they're a bit ropey because they weren't super strict on the turnstiles.
Sorry, Paul. I'm so excited. That was so embarrassing. Oh dear. You wait till Graham Roberts does something. You might see me and Paul start running around the room or something.
We might have to wait a little while for that one, but
yeah.
I mean, to me, this is a good, intense game of football. As well as stats, I don't like the way people talk about the Premier League as if that's when football was invented. It's the same bloody game as was when it was the first division. All it was is a change of name and shrinking it by a couple of teams. It wasn't like a complete revolution in the whole bloody sport.
No, it's like I said earlier, Paul. I always knew Ben Davies was bad, but seeing him in the flesh, Jesus,
right, it does give you a bigger perspective when you see a game live, doesn't it? I mean, that's something I do miss.
Even Perisic was bad, and I didn't think it was that bad. And I can see Emerson has improved, but there was one point, right? I always remember the game when we were in the South Stand. We were all singing. I forget what we were singing. Something Tottenham till I die, or we are Tottenham to where we're singing something. And all I remember, this fella behind me, right? And he, for the whole 90 minutes, from the start of the game until the end, he kept on. He was on about Son. Son, you're useless. Get off the pitch. You're a ghost. You're a ghost. So this went on for time after time. So I turned around to him and said, I take it you don't like Son then. But he was on. And I'll tell you one thing. Son had a very poor game against Milan. But there was one point they kept passing it back to Romero. Romero passed it back to Foster. Foster stuck his hands up and said, why are you passing it back to me?
Yeah.
Get it up there. And there was Conte on the touchline just sort of scratching his head thinking, wonder what I'll have for dinner later tonight, or do I fancy McDonald's on the way home or something? Do you know what I mean? Back to the hotel, do I get a Big Mac or... I don't know. But another thing, you never saw Keith Birkinshaw getting out of the dugout, did you?
No, it wasn't like animated like that. Come on here, well in there.
Go on, Mabbott. Oh, corner.
That was a corner. There, mate.
That was a corner. That was a corner, referee. I'm telling you. Get VAR involved in that. We have David Clark. Did you know that in the 61 Cup final, Leicester's Chalmers fractured his leg, but he stayed on the pitch for most of the game? No, sir. See, wasn't there? I
don't think he fractured it all by himself, though. If I remember the footage correctly, I think he might have had some assistance in breaking his leg.
Does the name Dave Mackay ring a bell?
I mean, that was incredible. No subs, wasn't it? But even when I used to go 2 subs, so I think the amount of subs now, I don't like it. I don't like 5 subs. It's becoming more and more like American football.
What game was it that the goalkeeper broke his neck or something, and he still played?
The German guy. Was that the German guy who played for Man City?
Yeah. Was that 50?
But something.
But do you know who played for that Man City side? It was Matt Busby. Actually won his first.
Right?
Yeah, Matt Busby played for Liverpool and Man City.
Huh.
There you go. Here comes Anderlecht. Good tackle. Who's that? Roberts again.
But that I mean, the funny thing about that 61, I mean, Danny Blanchflower, he had a set on him because he said we're a good side. We're going to win the double next year.
Yeah.
Troutman. Who says that? Who says that before a season started? You know.
Bert Trampman.
Bert Trautman. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. This is why I love watching these matches as well, because you can have old football talk, new football talk. You can go in any direction. Just a quick question. where you live in Australia, of course, it's St. Patrick's Day on Friday.
Right, Sydney.
So what would Sydney be doing for old St. Patrick? Will he be having a bit of green something over there, will you?
No, but there'll be a lot of people getting drunk all day.
Fair enough. We are going to do a stream St. Patrick's Day where we're going to do. You're welcome to pop on, Paul, if you want. We're doing a conspiracy stream, and we're going to do everything bar talk football. We're just doing one stream, one off, where we're just going to talk about was there the moon landing. We're going to bit of Irish music in there. Philip's going to record some of the parade for us. The St. Patrick's Day parade. I'm gonna bring up a Michael Collins song. Not to offend anyone, but it is coming on. We're going to a bit of the Dubliners and wow, look at that for Mickey Hazard right outside. Brazilian. If he was Brazilian, he'd be world class. Same as Glenn Hoddle. So we're gonna have a bit of a St. Patrick's Day party on the channel, sort of thing on Friday. See, can I get Mr. Harris on as well? Yeah. Just have a bit of fun. So can I get Mr. Harris and Jack Kanicki on and have a bit of fun? And me and Philip were going to go past some Irish history, big news around the time, and have a bit of fun. Because do you know what? We've been through a lot, us this season with Spurs, and I think, I think we've been through a lot, and I think we need something just to relax and this is the idea of this. And then Friday, it's just to chill out, relax, have a roll something, and just chill out. Like somebody would go, yeah, man, chill out and relax.
Here he is. Go on, Robbo.
Go on, Robbo. Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
We've got. Is that halftime? It is. There's Graham Roberts. There's the referee, Danny Thomas. That linesman is fucking tall. The referee's tall as well. There we go. There's the East Stand.
Yeah, you just don't get to see it enough, man. That's such a shame. Look at it.
Spurs needed was a 0-0 draw. That's all we needed.
Yeah, well.
And we're off. Look at that, how quick. They had a quick turnaround.
We're not playing for the draw, though. No team's playing for the draw here. They're trying to get it, aren't they?
Yeah, the pitches were certainly improved. I remember some old winter games that seemed to have more mud and grass. Yeah, we've seen some games.
I like that. I like that. I like shitty pitches. It just, sometimes when I'm looking at a modern Premier League game, it looks like I'm watching a computer game to me because everything just looks so perfect. Whereas, you see in this game, they'll have blood and shit or mud all over their kits.
Yeah. David Clark's asking us, what was your biggest waste of time in football? Mine is shin pads, small, halfway up the player's leg, not even protecting the shin. Yeah, I have to. What really bugged me about White Hart Lane at this point, and it bugged me for years, was the centre circle. And I think this was the biggest waste of time in football for me. Whoever built this East Stand must have been drunk, high. Oh, it was so early in the 80s. He was doing something he shouldn't have been doing at the time. Right? You ever look at the halfway line? It's never in line with the tunnel. It isn't. You look, Paul. Look, there's the halfway line. There's the tunnel.
That's it.
Well, they're measuring out the East Stand and realised, oh shit, we've got this a bit wrong here, lads. What do we do? Say nothing, they might not notice. What was your biggest waste of time in football? To ask David Clark's question there.
I've got to pop a little pill in my head for that one. Well, what in modern day football?
I think that's what he means, but I think in football in general, what's your biggest waste? What's your biggest waste of time in football? His was shin pads, some small halfway up the player's leg, not even protecting the shin. Exactly. I mean, that's the most stupidest thing to call it, shin pads. Oh Lord.
Well, I mean, this isn't quite answering the question, but I ain't got a good answer for you, David. But it goes on from what we were saying earlier. I hate the fourth official telling us how much injury time is going to be added. I prefer not knowing.
Yes. Oh, dear. Especially when you're winning. You're 1-0 up, and you've got 6 minutes to go. And you think, why did you tell us? Now you're going to send it. Look, go on, Dad. Go on, Chrissy. Oh, even now we get excited, Paul. Even now I'm getting excited.
I know.
It's stupid. It really is silly.
It's funny, isn't it?
In his 26 years playing career, I wore full-length shin pads with half cups protecting my ankle bones. All right.
They're different coloured boots. I don't like that.
No.
I find that distracting. I just like black boots.
Do you know, I want to ask you in the chat. Big up David Clark, though. Thanks for the talking point. And anybody else, you want to get your talk point and get your questions in. Look, if you want to put in the super chat, you can. If not, then do like David. But please, if you can, pick up your memberships. They're only $2.99 a month. It really does help us grow. And we want to get to about at least, I think, 15 or 20 members. Then we're going to start doing members-only fan shows. So please do that. It really does help the channel grow.
What a ball. What a ball.
Yeah. Let's see how 10 votes in, Paul, and 81's got 70%, 82's got nothing, 84, 10%, 90, 91, 20%. Now that surprises me. So the best final ever at the moment is the 1981 FA Cup final replay.
Well, I'd probably agree with that. But that doesn't mean the others. Like I said, I watched the '82 final, not that long ago, and I hadn't watched it for years, and I was surprised how good a game it was.
Moondog, bloody hairbands. Yeah, I know.
Hairbands.
I love his profile picture on YouTube. Moondog, Wurzel Gummidge. Now there's an old program in the '80s. Oh, Wurzel Gummidge. And the old Doctor Who used to be good back then in the 80s as well. But that's all we're going to talk about Friday. It's stuff we loved. And who was it? I know. Oh, my legs fell off. Sorry. Yeah, it fell off. Let me put it back
Magic spray. Come on. Magic spray.
The trainer came up. A sponge, a spray, and a bit of salts to put under his nose to give him a bit of a go.
Yeah, Spurs used to have this physio. His name was Doug Sheridan. Was it Doug Sheridan or John Sheridan? Sheridan.
I thought it was Mike something.
Well, the one I remember is John Sheridan.
Yeah.
And he used to go arse over tit a lot of the time running onto the pitch as well. But even, it was funny. There was such good banter in the crowd. Yeah. Even the physios would get a cheer. It was just. I don't know. I just have a big smile on my face when I think of.
There he is. There was the physio. Mark something there in the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's before John then.
Yeah. Big up FTSN column. With a nice, lovely badge beside his name. For me, my playing time straps on goalkeeper gloves used to annoy the hell out of me. Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
And David Clark's biggest bugbear is players who pull their socks down. Tony Galvin used to do that. And Tony Galvin always wore his socks down. Who pulled his socks down?
You'd never get Steve Archibald tucking his shirt in either.
Socks down. I hate that when I was a player manager. I would pull my players up I wouldn't like David. He would have a go at us, Paul.
Well, he's old school as David, isn't he? Taskmaster.
Yeah. I tell you one thing. I call him my nemesis, but I love it when he comes in the chat because he's always got something good to say. He always has something interesting to say, and it may just wind me up one time. Or I can think, do you know what? He's right. I love when David comes in the chat. Big up David Clark. You really are. I think he's been here since the start, or near after the start of Tottenham Till I when we changed it to THFC Till I Die or Tottenham Gold. I think he was round then. John Sheridan, black curly hair. Yep, that's true. Also on Friday, we are going to be talking a little bit about a certain game in '88. So if you are an England fan, close your ears. It was a little bit of a Embarrassing time for you, but never mind.
That was good. That was fantastic, wasn't it? Because despite my accent, my nationality is a bit all over the place, but I'm always Ireland over England.
Well, it took them. I was saying earlier, it took England 30-something years to beat us in soccer. Now, a lot of people say, "Why don't you call it football?" I think it's the same in Australia. I know it's the same in America.
I've had this discussion because it's called soccer here, but and I think a lot of people in England poo-poo that. You shouldn't call it soccer. Well, it was called soccer in England up until like the 50s and 60s. Sort for association football. It was always called soccer.
Go on, Archie. Go on, Archie. Go on, Archie.
Get in there, son.
Oh, Archie. I swear to God, when I started watching him, I swear to God, he never wore shorts onto the pitch.
Yeah, it's funny, eh?
Mind you, if you got a supermodel wearing that Samantha Fox now, you wouldn't mind, would you? You probably could wear that as a dress, to be fair. Column says here, now, players who try to pull their socks up to their waist is annoying. That's true. CR7 was the worst for it. Who was our CR7 in our time as young kids growing up, Paul? Who would you reckon would have been around then?
Well, I suppose maybe Trevor Francis was up there, wasn't he?
He was. He was a good player, to be fair.
Yeah.
Big up Colin, though, for the comment, though. Ozzy Ardiles.
Yeah, I mean, Ozzy and Glenn. I mean, I like... That's all I used to watch, really, was top. Well, actually, no, I used to watch other games because you didn't get many on TV. But yeah, Glenn and Ozzy.
Yeah. Do you think Glenn Hoddle was like Messi? Like you'd probably like it was our Messi and Ronaldo sort of our era.
I think he was our best player.
No, but in general in world football, Glenn Hoddle was. I know he's around the time of Maradona.
Oh yeah, I mean, like England did their usual. They don't want to build a team around a player that's brilliant, or they'll play him out of position. There's so many players that England didn't treat well. I even chuck in John Barnes there as well. They didn't use him.
They wasted John Barnes, but they wasted Glenn Hoddle as well. I mean,
absolutely.
You look at that Italian side of '82. They built it around Rossi, though he was coming back from match fixing. But like Brazil, they
wasted Ledley King as well. I mean, Jesus, he was the best defender on the planet.
I mean, when Ireland played, they built a team around Roy Keane, or they built a team around Robbie Keane. Do you know what I mean? They built it around our strengths. And I thought with England, you had Glenn Hoddle, you had Chrissy Waddle, John Barnes, Gary Lineker, Terry Butcher, Peter Shilton. You had the nucleus of a great international side there. And then it's the same like Tottenham. We never Bill Nick built the 61 side around a nuclear one play, which was Danny Blanchflower.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to start with Danny and we're going to build up from there. Poch did it as well for a while. He built it around one or two players. He built it from a solid defense. We had, Rose. He had Rose, Toby, Jan, and Carl Walker. So we had a solid defense. I never felt they treated Glenn Hoddle with the respect that he deserved. I mean, Platini always said if he was playing in the French league, he was French, he would have had over 100 caps.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
I'm just glad I got to see so much of him play. Him, Ozzy. So when I was going, Ozzy had just come back from his Paris Saint-Germain loan to the Falklands War. But it was just the stuff they used to do. You could never tell. Like, if we couldn't tell what they were going to, like Danny Blanchflower said, if we don't know what we're going to do, how can the other team? They were just so inventive. And also, it meant our forward players. It was basically as soon as Glenn got the ball, you better start running into space somewhere because he's just going to. If you ain't there, he ain't going to be happy with you.
No, I'm not laughing at you, Paul. I'm laughing the referee got a toilet roll chucked to them. Look at this, though, from Gary Stevens. All right, if I'm not going to get the ball, I'm going to take you down. Fuck it. We've got a super chat here from Moondog. Big up, Moondog. Thank you so much for the super chat. It really, really, I so appreciate it. I'm so humbled by it. So thank you so much. He says Huddle did the same with Gascoigne. Technically, he did. Technically he did, and I agree with you. I totally agree with you there. Huddle did the same with Gascoigne, and that's another thing, Paul. Paul Gascoigne was another player that we had, and I'm going to be controversial here. We ruined him.
You reckon? In what way?
Look, in a way, if he went to Man United, he would have been. I don't think he would have had the same problems he had, like he was with us. I think Ferguson would have took him under, would have been strict with him. I think he had other players there from the Northeast. You had Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, Brian Robson. I just think if he went to Man United, I think he would have turned out, he would have been the same player, but with discipline.
I don't know, man. Like, I've heard that theory, and I think Gazza's Gazza. You know, sometimes it's part of being a genius. You know, you have a few problems in your life. I mean, Man United didn't straighten out George Best, did they? So I don't know. I think that's just a bit of Harry hindsight. I think it's partly because everyone wants just Gazza to have a good old life. You know, he seems to be doing all right at the moment, which is nice to see.
Look, I had nothing against Paul Gascoigne. Love him to bits, Tottenham legend, but I just feel that you're a young lad coming from Newcastle down to London, especially in the 80s. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
Fergie, though as bad as some people think of Fergie, you look at some of them young players he brought in. They're all well established after their playing careers, got own companies. You know, you never hear, all right, apart from Ryan Giggs, but you don't hear of Paul Scholes in the news for anything, or you never heard. Do you know what I mean? And I understand you saying about George Best, but I don't think Matt Busby could control George Best, if you know what I mean. And I just think Fergie had that different temperament. And I think if somebody was disciplined with Gazza, he would have expected that. All he wanted to do was play football.
Yeah.
And I think I watched the documentary on him, and the amount of other stuff that got him to do outside of football, he hated it.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for him because he's a genius. We were so lucky to have him. And I wish we had him longer. I wish we didn't have to sell him because to keep our club afloat. That's the bit that gets me.
Well, that's Sugar, wasn't it? He was just an investment for Sugar.
Yeah, it really was. We've got John Nails. Big up John Nails. Sorry if I said your surname wrong. I do apologise. It says, England have never built a team around the player. No, never have done. I think you should.
Yeah, and it's not just building a team around a player. It's just like letting a player do what they do best. You know, we're always playing players out of position. Like the last World Cup, even is the same old crap.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Damn it!
That's it. I've had enough. That's it, Paul. I've had enough.
Yeah, in the stream, man.
And the stream.
There's nothing more to see now.
Defending awful. Absolutely. I mean, look at this. I mean, what's Gary Stevens doing? What's Barry doing? Look, let him buy. Let's really analyse this. Oh, look at that. Typical. What's Eric Dyer doing there? Seriously. Yeah. Do you know, does Eric Dyer look at this defending and think, this is how you defend? And what's the goalkeeper doing?
At least he put a foot in.
Yeah. Do you know what? We are joking, by the way.
It was a good goal, eh?
It was technically, yeah. I just love, you know, I don't know. Anyway, David Clark says, I think we should change the rule on injury time and copy rugby union when the clock stops. So when it strikes 80 minutes, play ends on the last play. We don't need to stop at the same, but injury. Do you know what? I agree with that. I think that's a good idea, actually, funnily enough. Oh, I think it's a good idea. Oh, God, now we're getting nervy now, Paul. Oh, geez.
I don't know if we're going to pull this one back, though.
I don't think so, Paul. I think, look, it's another defeat again.
Look at that old ground. God, it's brilliant. It's all higgledy-piggledy.
Don't you miss it. I really miss it.
You can never see the damn thing until you're right on top of it, either.
No, it was hidden, wasn't it? It was hidden in the corner. And then suddenly, I tell you, basically for me, was walking up into the stand.
Yeah.
And suddenly you just felt, I'm home.
That's it.
Swim Master says, I used to stand up on the shelf.
There you go, man.
Archibald Itchy Balls. Love it.
Oh, the chants were so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to the shelf, and because I was like, I was 12, 13, something like that. We always used to get there super early because you wanted to get in with the action, which used to be on the shelf towards the away end mainly. But we always wanted to get behind one of those steel frame things as well. Get your prime spot.
Yeah.
You just get crushed to shit.
Yeah. I always wondered if he realised or just thought it was an English accent. I think he did realise. Bless him. David Clark says Gascoigne was on his rocky road when his dad took him to the pub when he was 8. The rest, yeah.
I think you got a point there, David.
I tell you one thing. Paul Gascoigne, for me, has always had a special place in my heart for what he done as a footballer.
For sure, yeah.
I feel really sorry for him for what he done in his personal life. I really do. And I think it's sad. I think if he had the help there, like there is now for footballers, I think he would have been in a better place. But bless him, he wasn't. But look, people tried to compare him to George Best. For me, I don't mean to sound rude or disrespected of the dead. But personally, I think Gaz is trying harder than George Best did to kick the bottle and try to get his life sorted out. Let me know in the chat if you agree with me or not. Just let me know. What do you reckon, Paul? Do you think Gaz has always tried to try to right the wrongs he made in his past? Do you know what I mean? Where George Best sort of think, well, look, I'm an alcoholic and there's not a lot I can do about it.
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to judge people, especially when you're operating at the level those two were. Genius. You're gonna be a different sort of person to a lot of people, and I think sometimes it's a question of not being able to really fit in and cope with the world sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know.
He genius. Gaz was a genius. Always will be a genius.
Yeah.
For me, it's just that I think he tried harder off the field. Do you know what I mean? To try to put right what he did wrong, if you know what I mean. I think it's in that in Gaza of, I've got to put things right. And I think he's always tried, and he seems like a lovely man to talk to. And he gives fans his time where George Best, I was really upset when George Best died. It really affected me when he died. But I just feel that, I don't know, I think Gaz has got that. I think Gaz has got too big of a heart. And I think that's his problem.
Yeah.
He always wanted to please everyone. And for me, I think as a club, we should have looked after Gaza a bit better than we did. I think we let him down the club. I really do. I think we did. And I think instead of, I just thought if he was kept at the club after his injury, would we have looked after him? I don't know. I just don't know. It's hard to know, isn't it, really? But you can't. He was a genius, and we love it. He's still a Tottenham legend, isn't he? He really is. You can call him a legend, and he is a legend.
Yeah, I think we had the best years of him as well. He was so good.
I think he was I think his heart was bigger than. I think he had the biggest heart in football.
Yeah.
If I could give him one compliment, and it's another player I'd love to get on. I'd love to get Gaza on. And just listen to him, and because I love listening to Gaza, especially watching him. It really is. Right. I might have some big news in regards to Kane. Tell us, please. Put me and Paul out of our misery. I won't obviously just blurt it out until it's confirmed, and I 100% know.
Such a tease.
Yeah, you're right, tease. Good evening, gents. Good evening. F2N, I want to hear. Yeah, we do. Come on. What's this news? Come on, Colin. You cannot come into a Tottenham stream, man. I bet he's going to Man United. I bet he's going to fucking Man United. But seriously, though, Paul, I want to put this question out here to you. If Kane was to leave in the summer, would that be a bad thing for Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's our best player by a long way.
that question went down like a lead balloon, didn't it?
Well, if we sold him, he's a hell of a hole in the team, isn't he?
Yeah. I hopefully find out tomorrow. Carl Simpson says, looking forward to hearing you. I tell you one thing, I'm giving up on Keith Burkitt. I want him sacked, don't you, Paul? This is ridiculous.
Come on, Tottenham, what are you doing?
Come on, Dad. You know, he hasn't made a substitution yet or anything. What's he waiting for?
Don't know.
Oh, I don't know. You can imagine some of these. I tell you what gets me. We've watched this game thousands of times, Paul, you and me, and we remember it live, and we remember like the 81 and the Cup. I was thinking about it last night, and I've said it before. The fans that supported Tottenham, say from 2010 onwards, I rarely feel for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They have know what it's like to win a trophy. And I pointed it out the other day, Paul. We've won one trophy this century.
I know, it's crazy. And I remember supporting Tottenham when we were in Division 2. That was 78, I think, because I remember Arsenal losing the FA Cup to Ipswich, which was brilliant. And then I remember the Argentina World Cup, that was probably the thing that really got me interested in football, was that 78 World Cup. And then when we signed our dealies, and then it felt like we were winning a cup every year at Tottenham. It was incredible. So I had all that to go for. You know, I was 9 when we won the FA Cup in 81. So, you know, that puts a hell of a lot of gas in your tank when you're supporting a football team. And yeah, kids now, or you know, not even kids, it's people in their bloody 30s. They haven't seen us win an FA Cup. Oh, I think Dermo's computer's frozen again. Oh yeah, hello. There we go. Yeah, and I think that's some of the short-termism by the club, by us focusing on fourth and not cups anymore. You know, what's going to excite the new young fan? You know, when they're at that formative age and they're picking a football team, why would you pick Tottenham? I mean, if you live in the area, you can't even afford to go to a game anymore. So, what is it about Tottenham that would bring you in? And it's hard to know, really. So a little bit of silverware would be great for the fans. And I hear people say we need a trophy, and I think that's a byproduct of other things that you do well. But I get it because they haven't seen it. Oh, here we go. Game's back on. Turn my camera off because I'm not feeling too good.
Sorry. Look, I apologise. I will have to do a complete reset on my computer later, and either that or chuck it out the window. Fucking heap of shit. The computer, that is, by the way. Where are we? All right, we'll do this.
I was just answering your question there about, you know, the importance of winning a cup for new fans.
It is important, isn't it, Paul? It really is. David Clark, having worked on a huge construction site with hundreds of Geordies, they are massive drinkers like no one else. The Irish will probably be in there as well. It didn't shock me when he's chopped. Yeah, I agree with you as well. I totally. Fuck, Man City are winning 6-0 after 60 minutes.
Fuck me.
Right, yeah. Up in the shelf near the away end. Me too, and I was near the bars, but just far enough away from to have my. Hang on, sorry. Up in the shelf end, up near the away end. Oh, okay. Up near the away end, near to me too, and I was near the bars, but just enough away to have my escape route when the familiar sound started. That was soon followed by crowd moving forward. Ooh, scary times. Carl Simpson, City running wild. Yeah. Swim Master, a bit scary, but sort of excite me too. Good old days. And Chris Hinshaw, here we go, Paul. We've got some breaking news. Hang on. Where's my break? No, I can't bring up my breaking news thing. Sources close to Harry Kane believe that he could be convinced to sign a new contract if Tottenham Hotspur manage to appoint someone like Thomas Tuchel this summer, reports from Sky Sports.
I was just making shit up all the time, aren't they? I've seen so many different variations of this and that.
What Christopher could be saying is true. Well, I think it's going to be that ex-Spanish manager is going to come.
Oh, what, sorry?
I think it's going to be the ex-Spanish manager. Look at Graham Roberts. He's scared.
Yeah.
What you say, mate? What you say? Do you want to punch? I think it'd be the ex-Spanish manager is going to take over from Conte if Conte leaves.
No, I don't know about that. I'd just like to see Ange Postecoglou have a go. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I do too. He played. Celtic have got in the semi-final, haven't they? Got Rangers, haven't they, in the League Cup semi-final?
In the FA Cup up there, yeah. They've already won the League Cup, but they play good football. It's exciting. I followed Ange's career for 20 years, and he's a good guy. He is a good guy.
Do you think he could do it in the Premier League?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Oh, fucking hell!
You know, you're talking about a guy that was coached by Ferenc Puskas, you know?
Yeah.
That's some pedigree.
Hell. Seriously. Should have buried that. What were you thinking?
You Muppet.
Honest to God. Galvin. What were you thinking, Galvy? I don't know. It's 1-0 down, Paul. What we're going to do? What would you do if you were Birkinshaw? Would you be looking for your ex?
I'd be taking off. I'd be taking off Roberts, and just to mix it up a bit.
and put on a defender.
Yeah, I'd take off Roberts and put on Crooks. Yeah. That would win us the game, wouldn't it?
No, put on Ali Dick. Oh, no. Who's getting ready here? Oh, Ali Dickie's getting ready.
Ali Dick, here we go.
Ali was a bit dicky.
Well, they're playing some good football, Anderlecht, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are, actually. Who's coming off? Number 6. Gary Mabbott's coming off. Go on, Gary.
Get off, Gary. You'll never lift a cup.
Nah. Nah, he never lift anything up. Look at this. This is a good old tackle. Look at that. Paul Miller.
Crazy. Oh, yeah.
Go on, chuck the ball at him, son. Chuck the ball at him. That's Graham Roberts looking for it. Look, mate.
Yeah.
I've told you once. Oh, no, I love this. I love watching the old Tottenham in the 80s. They were so hard.
I know. Well, it was like footballers in general, they all looked like blokes, didn't they? They just looked like men. Now they look like models.
There's Ali Dick with his long flowing hair.
Yeah.
You know. I think they should bring an Aussie next and take off, I don't know, the goalkeeper. You know, just just do something different. Be dynamic.
Yeah, Parks is having a mare. Get him off.
He is having a mare. Why didn't we pick him? God, bring back Bobby Mims. That's what I say. Bobby
Mims. You know, hang on.
Oh dear, Bobby Mims. What a great goalkeeper he was.
Well, so there's one year when I was at sixth form, and I tried out for the team, and I went out. I tried in goal, and during like a practice match, I saved a penalty. It was a blinding save, man. And so they thought I was a lot better than I actually was.
You didn't get into the team. You didn't get into the team because of that save, did you?
Yeah, that was the save that got me into the team. And in our first competitive game, I let in three super shit goals in 10 minutes, and I was substituted. That was the end of my goalkeeping career. And all the bloody people at this school, they were all gooners. And all I heard for the rest of my 2 years there was, "Hey, Bobby Mims." So when people talk about, it's going to be hard if Arsenal win the league, I had to put up with Bobby Mims, and then I had to put up with Michael Thomas scoring at the last bloody minute at Anfield.
David Clark, I would get on to Robert's head. I would too.
You reckon? Yeah.
I mean, look at this. What the hell is Birkinshaw doing? I don't know, Paul.
He ain't got a clue.
He ain't. Daniela, big up. She says, big up Dermot. Oh, yeah, big up Dermot and Paul. Good evening. Good evening.
Oh.
Notice me and Paul did that together. Ooh.
Isn't it nice just watching a game without VAR as well?
I know. This is my V. I've been doing VAR in this, by the way. Some of the decisions, I don't know. Who's this?
It's just nice. Yeah, there's no crap on the screen.
Good Johnson. Good Johnson. Where's he from? I wonder. Denmark? There's Roberts again. Good header, Robbie. Robbo. Come on, Robbo.
Oh, did he get it? Yes.
Yeah, he did. Good.
Bloody hell.
I actually feel myself getting into it actually as
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
It is ridiculous. Oh God, what are we not? Are we that desperate for trophies? We'll have to watch okay to get excited.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Oh dear, Daniela isn't happy, bless her. Stephen has just scored. Paul, what would you say to Daniela? She's a Leyton Orient fan. What are you going to say to her to cheer her up? Go on, give her a good Paul quote to cheer her up.
Oh no, there's always the next game, isn't there? I mean, what can you say to a Leyton Orient fan? I mean, here's us moaning that we haven't won European Cups and shit for 30, 40 years. And then you got someone... That's the thing I always find funny about football fans. No. You know? It's like, we're just so lucky that...
Hang on, Paul. Hang on.
Who's this coming on?
Aussie's coming up. Paul Miller come off. He's taken off two defenders. Is Conte watching this now? Do you know? He should watch this game and just then realise I should have instead of putting Sanchez on, I should have put on an extra attacker.
I mean, that's just basic bloody substituting, isn't it? If you're behind, whack on another attacker. Yeah. You don't whack on Davis and Sanchez.
Yeah, you do. You say that, but if Aikla was ruled out in this match, you would have cried out for Yaya. You would have done. Look, you made Daniela cry now, Paul. I don't know. You made her cry now. Daniela, don't listen to him. Leyton Orient, the greatest, second best team in London. I don't know. Come on, Tottenham. We need to get an equaliser here. Come on, there's only 15 minutes left. Really, you want to send Berkey out with no winning, with no UEFA Cup? I don't know.
Come on, do it for Keith.
Look at that tackle by Roberts.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Got a free kick.
He did. Uplanded him. Oh, there you go. Oh, ref, I haven't got my leg. My leg's falling off. Oh, dear.
Yeah, ref. Roberts bit my knee off.
Yeah. Did you going over to Berkshire? Did you feed Mr. Roberts before the game? No. Daniela says we're still above them at the top of League Two. I know you're having a great season late in Orient, to be fair. Oh, that's a free kick, ref. Look, the Anderlecht, clap the referee saying, "Do you remember the brown envelope we gave to you before the match? We want it back." Oh, Lord. I think we're going to score from this, I
don't know. I don't know if we're good at set pieces.
I don't know. I've just got something in my bones telling me it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Oh, I was wrong.
Oh.
I was very, very wrong. Now, at this time, Paul, let's be serious now. And they're getting a bit happy now.
Oh, yeah.
All the
They've got one
Spurs
end. They've got one end on the cup, haven't they?
Yeah, all the Spurs fans are getting a bit sad now and thinking, God, what we're going to do after the match, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know, surprisingly, and this is true, I found this out on a match on the news report after the game, there wasn't one arrest at this game.
Well, good. Yeah, and like when all the years I used to go to Tottenham, I never saw trouble.
No,
not big trouble, you know. There's only one time I really saw it, and that was away at Port Vale, and I got hit on the back of the head with an advert hoarding. Spurs fans had had enough, and they ripped an advert off from the back of the stand and chucked it down, and it hit me and my mate on the back of the head.
Why did they have enough? Were we losing?
What, sorry?
Were we losing?
Yeah, we lost 2-1.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. That was so we, you know, after the FA Cup final in '87, we had high hopes. I think we beat Oldham in the third round, and then it was Port Vale, and we were terrible. But Neil Ruddock scored.
Yeah, well, nothing's really changed, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Offside. Come on, Spurs. Come on, there's Mr. Roberts. Go on, Graham. Go on, sir. There's Mickey Hazard. Hazard swings the ball forward.
You see, they're going wrong here. They should be passing it backwards and sideways in their own half.
They're not getting
minutes.
I think this is all alien to us, isn't it? It's not how
Don't they know how to play football? What's all this?
I don't know.
What's all this running forward lark?
I know. I'm pelting it forward. You know, getting it forward there. Go on, Gav.
They didn't have to do some good balls at that. How'd you pick a player out like that, you know?
I don't know. Oh, for fuck, I'm going to swear to God. I swear to God, I am going to chuck my computer out the window soon. There we go. For every reason, I've had more problems with it tonight than I've ever had. I updated it the other day, and I think that's the problem. I need to undo the update. I think I have to uninstall the update I installed the other day, I think.
Yeah, well, just leave my computer alone. Stop updating the bloody thing.
It keeps telling me I need to be updated by Microsoft.
Good shot, good save.
Yeah. Is this when we scored? There's Archie. There's Ozzy. Do you know Ozzy won quite a few things with us, actually? An FA Cup, a UEFA Cup. Do you know what's Graham saying? Oh, there's a bottle. He's saying to the fans, think of what you're doing, man. Think of what you're doing.
Yeah.
He really played the captain's role this night, didn't he?
Oh, he's amazing.
Go on. What? Oh, here we go. Mickey Hazard. Go on. Go on. Yeah.
Yes. Get in there.
Oh, look at them. Let me out this. Look at that fella. Oh, yeah. I'm going to sit down now.
Brilliant.
Do you know what? A captain's role. That's what that was.
Yeah. Oh, he's been all over this game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. How the hell did we not score there? How did Ozzy miss?
Ozzy, yeah. I remember that Ozzy fluffing it.
Here we go. Back
in.
Woo! You know, Yumi should do this every week, Paul. Yumi.
We're back in it.
Yeah, that's it now. We like Birkinshaw again now.
Yeah. There you go. There's a little timer.
Yeah. Oh dear! Look at all the cops walking around the pitch.
That was the thing they used to get.
Yeah, they're probably doing their pre-match, the middle of the match, they're changing shifts.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Roberts to Mickey Hazard. Mickey Hazard brings it forward. Mickey looking around. What can he see? Can Spurs grab a late winner here?
Ooh.
And one thing I really felt sorry for was Stevie P not being able to pick up a European trophy because he won it, didn't he?
72.
He won it in 72.
Yep.
It's amazing. 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, 2 UEFA Cups.
It's not a bad career, is it?
No.
And I mean, no one's going to beat his record of appearances.
No.
I mean, how you can stay in a top flight club for what was it, 19 years?
What did he do? He played on the Bill Nick, Terry Neal, Keith Birkenshaw's, Peter Shreves, and then Peter Shreves sold them. Peter Shreves got an awful lot to answer for.
Yeah, and Pleat.
No, Pleat just broke round corners, Paul. Let's just be. His biggest membership was with the RCA or the AA.
Yeah, I agree, Shamu. There, I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Why isn't there a Bill Nick stand?
There should be a statue or something.
Yeah,
that really pisses me off because Man United have got the Matt Busby statue, and they've got the Lord Charlton Best.
Yeah, Holy
statue.
Trinity.
Liverpool have got the Bob Paisley statue, and I think the Shankly Gates. Even Leeds have got a statue of Billy Bremner. Newcastle even have a statue of fucking Alan Shearer and Bobby Robson. I don't know. It's fucking. I agree with you. It should be Tottenham's ground. Should be called the Bill Nicholson Stadium.
Yeah.
And then have a stand called after Steve Perryman. That's what really infuriated me the other night. They were absolutely shitting on the pitch. And what did they do? They rolled out Steve Perryman at halftime. I wish he went into that dressing room and just tore them a strip and said, "This is what it means to play in a European night."
He must have been watching that game thinking, what the fuck are these guys doing? They just don't want it.
No. And he was right to say in the 84 UEFA Cup final, this final, the club and the team, the players in the team were one. Everyone was one this night. Do you know what I mean? They were all together. And I don't know, Paul. It's sad. I still think they should use Steve Perryman, some of these older players like Graham Roberts and that, in some capacity around the club.
Yeah, some sort of guidance, like, looking after the culture of the club, because we ain't got a culture at the moment.
We haven't got anything, have we, Paul?
No, I mean, Poch brought a lot of it back, in fairness to him. And I was so gutted when we sacked Poch. I thought that was a horrendous mistake, and I think I was right. I didn't want Mourinho. I kind of wanted Conte, but I want an attacking manager. I'm fed up with this 4 years of negative stuff on the pitch. Really am. It's just not Tottenham.
We went from, I remember when they sat Poch that night, and then suddenly you woke up the next morning, Jose Mourinho's the new manager, and you're thinking,
I just thought, come on, Tottenham.
Well, I thought at the time we're going to win something now. Jose's won everything wherever he's gone.
I just thought, we've just been in a European Cup final, and we're sacking the manager who got us there. You haven't bought him any bloody players for 2 years. I mean...
I do agree with you. Don't get me wrong, I do agree with you. But the point I'm trying to make is that at the time I thought, right, okay, Poch did what he did, but it's time to move on. It's the same when Birkinshaw left. The fans must have been halfway through the Peter Shreves or the date or era. You're thinking, God, I wish Birkinshaw would come back.
Yeah.
Fuck. Holy mother of God.
Although the 86-87 season was pretty good as well. I mean,
That was a one-off, though, Paul.
It was, yeah. That was
would
a
have been
special
a
year.
screamer. Oh.
Whoa.
That was Glenn Hoddle's last year at Spurs, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember his last goal. Who was it against? Was it against Oxford?
Oxford.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Brilliant.
It was against Oxford. Yeah. Let's see, what else are we doing? Come on, you Spurs, as they say. Shamu said the Bobby Charlton stand. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. Steve Perriman, 866 games. Well, I think, David, I do think that Paul's probably coming up on that now. What are you now, Paul? 865 games on? Yeah, now?
Something like that, yeah. I might announce my retirement soon.
And then South Stand should be the Bill Nick stand. The stadium should be called after Bill Nick. The South Stand should be the Arthur Rose stand.
Well, you can have your Arthur Rose stand, your Bill Nick stand, Danny Blanchflower.
The Aussie Paul stand.
Oh, I wouldn't say no.
I swear to God, that even bugs me now. Could not have built a stand properly. Seriously. Honestly, it bugged me as a kid growing up. Who designed that?
It was a weird old stand there. There was usually bugger all atmosphere from that lot just all sitting down there.
Here we go. We're going into extra time now, lads. Squeaky bum time. Squeaky, 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 squeaky bum time here now.
Look at that all white kit. Isn't it good, eh?
It is. Let's see now. Let's see how the I don't know what I'm thinking, Paul. Let's see how the something's going. Let's see how the the poll's going. Sorry. Because that is an interesting poll. Look, we're at 16 likes. Please hit that like button. If we get to 20 likes, I will be very, very happy. What we've got here now, we've got 53% for the 81 Cup final, Paul. 12%.
Yeah, well, it was a classic, wasn't it?
Yeah, 12% for the 82 and 84, and 24% for the 1991.
Yeah, 91 was good. I mean, that was a side. We were a few players short in 91, unfortunately. So for them to get a cup was quite an achievement. And it was great to see Gary Mabbutt lift the cup after his misfortune 4 years earlier.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what, Paul? You look at the team of 87. I think if Keith Birkinshaw was managing that team, we would have won 2 out of the 3 trophies, I think.
Could have won something, yeah. I don't know how active David Pleat was. I mean, I don't know how much credit he can get. I mean, what other formation are you going to play with all those players for a start,
Well, he was very active in some department, especially with the AA and RAC.
I still remember the front page of the Sun with that picture of him, like looking sweaty in a dressing gown or something. And I remember that all the Gooners had T-shirts printed with that on the. I mean, it's quite funny now you think about it, but we were playing Arsenal. They all turned up with front pages of the Sun with Pleat on it on their T-shirts.
David Clark says the Dyer stand because let's face it, it doesn't.
Yeah,
I love that. That's chat. That's the comment of the chat for me. Shamu, we are more likely to get Levy Lane as part. Oh, please, Shamu, be cheerful. This is a joyous dream of watching historic triumphs, of us marching into Europe and winning a trophy. Paul's so excited he has to keep going. He has to keep running off and running around his apartment saying, "Come on, you Spurs!" He's that excited. We are more likely to get Levy Lane as part of the real estate venture before Bill Nicholson said, "Look, something's got to give." I'm really feel strongly about this. I don't know if I want to start a petition or something, but I do think we are very bad as a club, not recognising our past, what other clubs cherish.
Did you do a stadium tour when you were over, Dermot?
No, I didn't. I'm doing one at the end of May.
Because I'm wondering how much. I mean, surely they've got to mention our history there, haven't they?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Martin Shivers took the boys, Dave and Jack, round.
Yeah, that would have been.
And they actually bought me. They actually got me, which I'm going to get into a frame. I am going to get this into the frame. They got me a Martin Shivers autograph.
Wow.
Mind you, he probably signed loads of these before the thing, but for me, I think he personally signed this the day that they went.
I like that Tottenham actually does that, though. If, you know, some jobs for the boys, a few tours, just give them a few quid here and there, because, you know, there's still a lot of players alive that miss the glory days of high wages and super high incomes, and they deserve you know, a very nice retirement, I think.
Yeah. Apparently Ozzy was supposed to do it, but he apparently was playing golf with Mickey Hazard, apparently. So the rule that Mr. Shivers, what a great time. We've got Shmooey said Højbjerg is going to give Dermot and Ellie a put. Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Ready with there's Ozzy. Ooh, I am Ozzy Odilis. Me and Ricky played for Tottenham.
Here we go. Come on, Tottenham.
Go on, Danny Thomas. Do you know some of these plays that just roll off the tongue, don't they?
Yeah.
Here we go. Mickey. Go on, Mickey. What was that? I tell you one thing, you think about it, Paul. Graham Roberts, Gary Mabbott, Paul Miller were all leader of men, weren't they?
Oh, phenomenal.
David wasn't like Tony Galvin. His socks are down, Derek. David, his socks are down. His socks are down. Look.
I don't
have a go at you, Tony.
I don't see a real leader in our team at the moment. That's something that's missing.
I do. I think Højbjerg is a bit of a leader.
No, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
I do. I think him and Bentancur are a bit of lead. Romero's definitely a leader. I don't know if you agree or not, but for me, it's definitely...
possibly. I don't know. I just don't. We haven't got that guy that, apart from Kane, but he's up forward that will just change a game or lead by example. You know, I don't think Steve Perryman was the most mouthy player on the pitch, or even Gary Mabbott, but you know, he just inspired all. They both just inspired all the other players to keep going all the time. They just wouldn't accept anything less.
Well, at the moment, the 81 Cup final is 50% now. The 82, 84, 91 are 11% each and 28% respectively. So the 81 Cup final is flying ahead.
Look at that. Ooh.
Oh. There's old Tony.
Tony O'Galvin.
Great winger for Ireland.
Yeah.
And the big Jack. There's Chris. Go on, Danny Thomas.
Oof.
Oh, go on, Mickey. What a pass. Oh, he's off. He's offside.
I don't know. I want to see the lines on that one.
I don't. Yeah, same here. Paul, could you get the bit?
That Richarlison goal that was disallowed for VAR. The offside rule that they're currently using is so dumb in my mind. You know, it'd be so much easier to take the line if you're going to do all this line computer shit. To take the line from the foot, the leading foot. For one thing, it's closer to the ground, so you don't have to just make stuff up as much. You know, drawing a line from someone's shoulder down. It's called football. You don't play it with your elbow, do you?
No, you don't.
And like it really, it's too much in favour of defenders, because if you've got an attacker that's making his run and he's sprinting, well, he's going to be leaning forward. His arms are going to be outstretched, but his feet are still going to be well behind the bloody defenders. But it's offside now.
Yeah. Shamu says, not a leader yet. It's too rash at times. 2 to 3 years. Maybe Romero might be captain until 7-0. Fucking hell. That's some game. Anyway, this is much better, Shamu. This is more exciting. Paul was just off there saying to Keith Birkinshaw what to do now in the second half of injury time, of extra time there.
Yeah, put 11 men behind the ball and wait for penalties.
Yeah. Don't worry, old Parksy will save you. Imagine he's one best game and he wins a big European trophy.
I know, man. I don't think I don't know if too many fans are confident about the penalties with Tony Parks.
No.
It's a bit unfair to him, but you're used to seeing Ray Clements, and then we didn't have him for this game.
Well, Ray Clements, he won it twice with Liverpool, didn't he?
Well, he would have won European Cups, yeah.
Yeah, and the UEFA Cup, I think, for Liverpool.
Was there a UEFA Cup as well?
Yeah.
Right. Well, they won
everything. Oh, Ray Clements did. Shamu, this is Paul. This is to you. Paul was just sending message to Haaland. He's sending him the match ball. Finland, what minute of the game we're in? We're in the end, I think, of the first period of extra time.
Yep.
So we're 2-2. If you've missed it, we're Tottenham equal. Anderlecht took the lead. Spurs equalised through Mr. Graham Roberts, and Tottenham are now it's 2-2 on aggregate. So all square, all to play for, and I think we're near the end now of the first period of extra time here now.
And the bummer about this was because, like in pretty much all the years I was going to Tottenham, England was banned from European competition, so I never got to see a European tie.
This is for you, Paul from Shamu.
Dude, look. I heard Coover on a stream come out with a theory, and he said it's the first crowd roar you hear, that's who you end up supporting. And unfortunately, the first crowd I hear roar was someone took me to a game, and it was St. George Dragons. So that's unfortunately my team over here, and they make Tottenham look like a well-oiled machine.
Oh, they're that bad, Paul.
Talk about a club that's rotten from the top all the way to the bottom. It's St. George Dragons. It's horrendous.
Oh dear, I don't know. Oh, Paul, what do we do to ourselves? Seriously, though.
Pisses me off. I could have supported any decent, good team. Fresh fields, new start, but no, St. George bloody Dragons.
Here comes Tony Galvin. Good crossing by Galvey. Ooh. Oh, it didn't touch him.
What happened there?
He didn't touch him. He just fell over. I think it was this the season that France won the European Championships as well, I think, in 84.
Oh, it might well have been, 84, yeah.
The great Michel Platini film.
Yeah.
Raiders fan here. I got the green woolly beanie with the horns. I almost went Panthers about 13 years ago or so.
Wouldn't have been a bad move, man.
I need to get into Australian. Is this Australian soccer or Australian rules football?
Rugby league.
Rugby league, all right. Here comes Anderlecht on the ball. Look, I apologise about the stream tonight. I don't know what the problem is. StreamYard always send out dodgy links. So, and I also apologise about my computer playing up as well. I do apologise. I will be rectified before we do this next Tuesday. Look, let me know what you think of the game so far. What do you think of the Tottenham side that are playing? What do you think of the passion? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. For me, it's just this is how Tottenham should be playing. A European night, full of guts, full of determination, full of we're going to win this. We're going to do this for us and the fans. And I wish we could put the sound out because the fans that night, Paul, were absolutely fantastic, weren't they?
It's bonkers loud. Yeah.
Just back one.
Yeah, I watch a bit of rugby league over here. The A-League soccer is not much to shout about, but in common with football, video refereeing really kills the flow of it. I mean, it's bad enough in football, but rugby league, where it's much more physical and you can really have your foot on an opponent's throat, and then you've got to hang around for 3 or 4 minutes waiting for a video ref to make a decision. It just gives the other team a chance. Here we go, big hoof out there. There's no backwards passing from Tottenham at all here. They're always looking to go up the pitch. I mean, that's where the goal is, isn't it? I mean, call me old-fashioned, but that's where you want to be heading. Go on, son. Look at him go. Oh, fantastic play. I mean, the thing about Roberts was not only was he a bloody good defender, but he was a good footballer. He really was. Look at that. Nice little head into space. Ah. Oh. Actually, his handle excited look a bit like Manly Sea Eagles. So, yeah, I don't want them to win.
Sorry,
is that Haaland? Yeah, you've just been on the phone to Haaland, have you?
I haven't seen. Can you come to Tottenham for about? I'm going to pay him. We're going to pay Man City €20 million, and wages for Haaland would be a bag of M&Ms and chicken nuggets every week.
Well, we could give him Brian Hill.
Yeah.
Because I mean that transfer is a brilliant one. How did that work out? So we gave them Lamella and some money, and they've still got Brian Hill.
I know. Well, look, end of the first half of extra time here.
Good. We're on top here. We're on top.
Yeah, we are. Here we go. To start the second half now. Come on, you Spurs. Come on. Can we do it? Can we do it? We've gone past the 2-hour mark, Paul. We're up late. Do you know what I mean? We're not leaving this stream. This is live and exclusive from White Hart Lane. We've transported ourselves back to 84. The internet wasn't even thought of. But we're showing the game live here, guys. This is
I mean that's something that young fans have got a good chance to do now, because they can watch anything now. Whereas when I was a young fan, you'd be relying on the folk stories of older fans, or going to the library, seeing what you could find out about Tottenham.
Teletext,
yeah, there'd be bits here and bits there. Buying the odd video of games.
Yeah, I remember buying. That was close. I remember buying Jimmy Greaves' 6 of the Best.
Oh yeah. I was saying Greaves, that was a brilliant show. So good.
I remember they bought a video out, the history of Tottenham Hotspur, is about 3 hours long. And do you know what? I can't find that. And it used to be on YouTube. Cannot find it anywhere now. It was
there was a cute little Channel 4 film. I think it was called Glory, Glory Nights.
Yeah.
About a bunch of schoolgirls that were following the double winning side.
Where are you going with this, Paul?
No, it was a good little period piece. It was good little. It was all about the double winning side and how it affected these little fans. It was really, really good fun film. I haven't seen it for years actually.
Yeah. Sorry, Paul.
Get out the gutter. Get out the gutter.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Paul. I apologise, Paul. I couldn't resist that.
I mean, it was a film made in the 80s, so your average Top of the Pops presenter was up to no good at that time. But this film was entirely innocent.
I wasn't suggesting anything, Paul. I'm sorry. I just couldn't resist. Oh, Lord. Mind you, that is so true. Anyway, yeah, it's. Do you think both teams are playing for full time for penalties here now, Paul?
I don't think they are they?
No.
There's enough going forward. I mean, we're on top, but it's not like Anderlecht aren't trying. I mean, they almost got one off there, didn't they? Oh, you don't want to be tackling that fella.
No. Just to give you an update on the vote, 19 votes in. It's been up for an hour. What was your best Spurs final? 1981, 53%. 1982 and 84, 11% each. And 1991, 26%. That really surprises me. I would have thought 84 would have been a clear second, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I think it's just. I mean, that was. I don't know, that FA Cup. It was the centenary FA Cup. It was in the days where. I mean, maybe part of it was like for the coverage of this game, it wasn't all day of coverage, was it? Like in '81 when it was like on the bus with the team and. It was just FA Cup, the road to Wembley. It was on all day. The FA Cup was so good. It really was. I haven't watched it for about. I can't even remember the last time I watched an FA Cup now.
I can't remember the last time I watched the final. I think the last final I watched a bit of was Leicester.
Right, yeah.
When they won it, but I haven't watched one since. And
Portsmouth, maybe I watched some of that.
Oh, I tried to forget that. That was another cup final we should have got to.
Yeah.
Here's the referee. Ooh, bit of sweat off the brow there. Here we go. Spurs now. Look, what's Park saying to Gary Stevens? Come on, son. Come on, let's get up there. Get up there. Bounce it once, bounce it twice.
He's not going to roll this one out, is he?
Yeah. I tell you one thing, David Clark, if he was on the touchline, you'd be going mad at the moment. All the players have got the socks down.
Yeah, where's their standards?
David was shouting, pull your socks up, pull your socks up.
Shouting at them like Windsor Davies.
Oh,
lovely boy.
The players then just didn't care, did they?
No.
Their leg had been hanging off and they were still going for it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's down.
That's all they wanted to do was play football.
Mm.
Yeah, you talk to any of these players about rotation or being rested, they punch you in the face.
Yeah. Well, what's rotation? What's playing football? I get paid $200,000 a week.
I still don't understand it. I know it's the way of the world, but okay. If you have a day off, what does that mean? You're not even going to train or whatever?
Yeah, I know. I mean, how much were these players on then? About £200-400 a week?
I think they were on good wages, but it wasn't. I think if you're a player in this sort of era, you could hope for when you retired, maybe you've got enough money to open a pub or something.
Mm. Or a lot of them went into television, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, Garth Crooks was on it for a while, wasn't he? Is he still doing stuff on the BBC?
No, I think he does. I miss Garth Crooks. I used to like listening to him, actually.
Oh, very smart guy. Very smart guy.
There's a load of ex-Spurs players I love to get in this channel. Garth Crooks is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, get onto it, man.
Yeah, but I don't know how to get in. You try to get in contact with these players, and you never can. You never can.
Yeah,
they're so hard. You've got to go through my agent, or you've got to go through. I mean, like Mickey Hazard and Steve Perryman, bless them, they're so approachable.
Yeah, I've actually sort of swapped a few messages here and there with Steve Perryman, and he's very generous with his time responding to people. That guy.
Yeah, he is. And I do love his he does a YouTube channel as well. He's got
I love his podcast.
Yeah. Here's Danny Thomas. Go on, Danny Thomas. There's only one Danny Thomas. We'll be singing that later.
I mean, Perryman, he's so old school. Like, his camera's always pointing at the top of his head when he's on live streams and things. It's like, just tilt your camera down a bit, Stevie. Come on.
Oh, bless him. But no, I do enjoy it. Mickey Hazard, I enjoyed. We had him on here. Absolute gentleman.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I mean, He's a Tottenham player through and through, isn't he?
I still can't get over some of the stories he told about the players in the dressing room.
Did he tell? Was that the one where I heard about where he's having a bath?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That's so wrong, that story.
Yeah, it is, but it's funny. Swim Master said Chris Hughton's very... Yeah, I cannot get hold of him. Could you email me how to get hold of him, please, Swim Master? I would be so grateful. Because being an Irish fan as well, he played for Ireland as well, Chrissy Houghton. So please, can you the email is on the YouTube channel. So if you can, please email me how to get in touch with them. I'd be so grateful. I'd be really, really grateful. Thank you so much. I'd love to get Chris. I always wanted to get him and Paul McGrath on at the same stream.
Wow, yeah. Oof. That was a hell of an Ireland side. Like I say, I was always. England were right down my pecking order sometimes, you know.
But we had, Jack Charlton he used every rule in the book.
Oh yeah.
But he made sure he went down every road, to the last bit to get what he wanted. I mean, he went to Oxford just to get Ray Houghton.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting John Aldridge as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
But he one thing about Jack Charlton, and he's dearly missed, is he brought a nation together.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he brought the team and the nation as one along his journey. And I don't feel international managers do that now.
No.
I don't feel they bring the whole nation along with you. And Jack Charlton did that. I mean, Stephen Kenny doesn't bring the whole nation. I mean, I
see Gareth Southgate, and he just looks like a bland corporate knob to me. Australia's manager at the moment is a good guy, Graham Arnold. He's got a bit about him. I'm glad he's going to be managing us on the run up to the next World Cup.
The Canadian manager is a good manager as well.
Yeah.
He's another good man. But do you know what I mean? Cousins. Dermot loves Stephen Kelly. No, I don't. Please get him out of my national team. I hate him. I don't hate him. I just don't think he's good. See, Mick McCarthy, he's old school. He's one that could bring the nation along with you. I just feel the managers today I don't know. When it comes to international manager, he's there representing you, your country, your nationality. And I feel like Jack Charlton did, Mick McCarthy did. They brought us along on the ride.
Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. His football was shit, but he did. He brought us to a championship.
Well, the first international game I went to was at Wembley, and it was Northern Ireland versus England. It was a World Cup qualifier, and it was the only time I got to see Pat Jennings in goal. And because my mum was from Tyrone, so I found it the other day. I've still got my Northern Ireland flag from that night.
Yeah,
it was great seeing. It was great seeing Pat Jennings and Jerry Armstrong. Because I remember Armstrong what he did in the '82 World Cup. So that was a real thrill.
And a lot of people seem to forget he played for Spurs as well before he went to Watford.
Damn right he did.
Damn right he did. We've got I like Carl Simpson's comment. We're right, man. I bumped into Chris at a local garden centre with his wife. My dad too bumps into him. Next time I see him, I'll see if he's got contact details to arrange something. Thank you so much for him, Master. That will mean the absolute world to me.
That's a modern day term that I don't get. This wing back thing,
Yeah.
What the idea? Hang on.
Yeah, big up, Swim Master. I read that really would be that mean the world to me. Thank you so much. And Carl Simpson, Stephen Kelly has got as much charisma as a soggy bit of cardboard. Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. Yeah, the win back, Paul. It's a bit of a. Do you know what is a win back?
Well, I don't know, but Chrissy Hughton would have been a brilliant one if there was such a thing. Chrissy Hume was phenomenal. There goes my 1985 Northern Ireland scarf. I remember Pat Jennings. Hey, we're all one thing now. Come on.
I'm joking.
There's no red hands on it or any shit like that. I chose my scarf wisely, man. You know.
Oh dear. We do go down some rabbit holes on this channel. We rarely do, but we come out of them as quickly as we go down. It's Paul. We can't hear you.
I remember. Oh, that's what I meant to do. I remember Pat Jennings making a phenomenal save from Glenn Hoddle that night, and this is like when Pat Jennings was like 75 or something. He was so good in goal. God,
yeah, he was. I mean, do you know what, Paul? I laugh at myself on this channel. We sort of dip our heads down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And we think, look, it's going to be okay. We get halfway down and realise that we shouldn't be down there. And it's like we all turn around and we're trying to scramble our way out of this hole.
Well, I know you might have personal problems, but as far as the Irish government's concerned, I'm Irish. So there we go. That's my passport. I've got 3 passports. I'm like a shit-born identity because I've got 3 passports, but they've all got the same name on them.
You're welcome on our St. Patrick's Day stream. Do come on, Paul, and join us in our celebration of St. Patrick. Who drove all this, and this is true story. You will never find a snake in Ireland.
No, he didn't come to Australia. I can tell you that.
No, but I think there's 2 other countries as well. Go on, Danny. Go on, that's a free kick.
Oh, come on, ref.
Go on, ref. Offside. He's pointing. Yeah, I think there's 2 other countries in the world there's no snakes in it. I can't remember. I don't know if Shamu would tell me. I think one of them's New Zealand.
Nah, it's got to have snakes.
There's an island off New Zealand. I can't remember, but our island's one of them. Yeah, old St. Patrick, he drove all the snakes out of here and, build a church and got on with it. Danny Field, it says, loving the footage. I know, it's great, isn't it? It's great to sit back with a can of beer, a can of Foster's.
It's just like having a hearty bowl of soup, isn't it?
It is. I know this is going to be sick, but you and me have really got into it. It's like we're watching this live. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's it. It's gone to penalties now. Oh, shit. This way it all goes bell end up, doesn't it?
Oh, no. We've got Tony Parks in goal. Fucking hell,
what we're going to do. Oh, look, I don't know. Come on now, Tottenham. You can do this now. You can do this. But now, do you know what? In all sincereness of it all, I think there's Ray Clements and Tony Parks. This does good to the soul, I think, watching these. It makes you realise why you support Tottenham in the first place.
Oh, for sure, man.
There's Garth Crooks, giving Tony Parks a big hug. Come on, man, you can do it. You can do it. There's the Anderlecht goalkeeper. Go give us a beer. I want a beer. Come on. I want a bit of a beer. If you were Keith Birkinshaw, Paul, what would you be saying now to the penalty takers and Tony Parks?
I'd be saying, just hit the ball low and right, Danny Thomas, and you'll be fine. I don't know. There's not a lot you can say to players, is there? I think it's up to, there's nothing you can say. No. Nothing you can say. I mean, this is the ultimate of pressure, isn't it?
It is. Do you think they would have practiced this before the game in training and that?
I think they would have been practicing penalties for sure. For sure.
Imagine that. I mean, we had it with 2019, us in the European final. I mean, imagine, see your fella bringing on little cups of water on the pitch on the tray.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that now, would you?
It's so quaint, isn't it?
It is. So Tottenham.
I know. Let's put the camera on for this bit.
But I tell you one thing, even it was nice to have Bill Nick there that night. I wonder how much influence he had on Keith Birkinshaw at his time as Spurs manager. I wonder did Keith use Bill Nick's knowledge?
Oh, he used him as a scout. for amongst other things. No, Bill Nick was right in there. It was a really good role for him, actually, because he was, I don't know, he was probably maybe age was getting to him when he retired, but to have him back in that sort of capacity, scouting out new players and having him around the club was incredible. And it's just a shame that instead of going for Terry O'Neill, the board didn't listen to Bill Nick and have Danny Blanchflower as the next manager.
Do you think if we did, Paul, then we wouldn't have got Birkinshaw, we wouldn't have got the relegation, we wouldn't have got Ozzy and Ricky, we wouldn't have got the glory years of the 80s? Do you think it was just meant to happen that way?
Well, that's one way it happened. I think if Blanchflower was in charge, we would have had different sorts of glory. Who knows if they would have been as good or not as good? I don't know. But I mean, what Keith Birkinshaw did was incredible. Just assembling this team bit by bit, and it was really when we got Archibald and Crooks up front that it really started firing off. And it was just a shame to see that slowly, get dismantled very soon after Keith left.
Here's the first. I think Bill Nick had his hands in probably 4 different Tottenham great sides: the 60s, the 70s, no, 3, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s.
And
his
the 50s.
His fingerprints. Here's Graham Roberts.
Go on, son. Look at that, man. That's a ballsy penalty, isn't it?
But if you think about it, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, he's had his fingerprints in all.
We can't even have a bloody statue of the guy. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Look, I am going to have a debate on this probably on Thursday about the statue thing, but I will be starting a petition. Every day in Newsbeat now, I'm gonna say about it. We need to do something as a channel to make Tottenham.
Your shit. Yeah.
Go on, Box. Get in there. Get in there.
That's about as emotional as Keith Birkinshaw got, isn't it?
It was actually, yeah. He didn't, yeah. But no, seriously, I think we, as a channel, we need to start doing something. I really do, and I mean passionate about that. I think as a channel, and I'm sure Paul.
Yeah.
I'm sure Philip and Ellie and Mia would agree with me. There needs to be more done. We need to celebrate our teams. We need to probably at the end of the season or in the summer have a charity match or whatever between Tottenham ex-Tottenham players, or have a glory night or something like that. Remember our history.
Yeah.
And we don't. We really, really don't. And it's very sad. Philip always says to me that look after their players. They don't look after their players very well.
No? There's a few on the hard times, is there?
Yeah. Come on, Parky. Do you know what? I've got 4-3 in my mind. What do you reckon, Paul?
Don't know, man. I don't know. It's anyone's game.
Gary Stevens. Go on.
Come on, Stevens, you donut.
Go on,
Steve. Put it in the net.
Go on, Steve-O. Wearing the number 10 of Glenn Hoddle. Steps back. Can he put it in the back of the net? The keeper didn't even move.
That's it. Get the crowd going, man.
Yeah. He was doing the Sugar Ray Leonard screen round there, do you know?
Yeah. That would have been around all this time as well, wouldn't it?
I was just thinking there, Paul, the sport, like you had boxing, you had Leonard, you had Hearns, you had Hagley, you had Tyson, you had Formula One, you had Mansell, Prost.
Yeah.
Football, you had the great Liverpool sides or the great Tottenham side. Do you know? This year, the English football won two of the top European trophies this season. Because didn't Liverpool win the European Cup in, I think it was Roma? They beat Roma Roma.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Here comes Starchy, scratching these balls.
We'll take more care of you, Archibald, Archibald.
Yeah, he's scratching these balls, waiting to hit the ball. Archibald, Archibald. Look at this. Look at that. That's a penalty.
Have we gone left with all of our penalties?
Yeah,
so
we
far?
have actually gone left. So the keeper at some point thought, I might go left. There's old Parky who parked the bus.
Yep.
Number 6 for Anderlecht. Can he score? Can he score? Do you know what? I'm actually going to put the sound up for this.
Yeah, we got to hear the Danny Thomas chant, haven't we?
But if little Danny Thomas can score, that'll make it 5-3.
I hope we don't get done
little
for this.
Danny Thomas, you patronising wanker, Brian Moore.
Right.
Little Danny Thomas, get out of here.
Van Himst.
There's only one Danny Thomas. There's only one Danny Thomas.
If he scores.
Oh.
Now listen to the crowd. This is what I mean. There was one. This is what it means to be a Spurs fan.
And this got into the Anderlecht players' heads. They couldn't understand why we were singing his name.
Yeah.
That would have won the cup. And poor Danny.
There we go.
The Spurs crowd are shouting, there's only one Danny Thomas to keep his spirits up. Well, let's see. Maybe Tony Parks will pull off another save. Good Johnson.
Boo.
The man taking it.
Yeah.
Spurs have won it. He's the hero.
Look at that.
Fantastic scenes here. And Keith Blackenshaw finishes career at Tottenham with a European trophy. What an unbelievable scene, and what a good sporting moment there for Morten Olsen.
Sorry. Look at the old fella there.
Oh, no, you get some characters, don't you? There's the shell. Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful play.
Yeah, Chris Vinshaw, they've done it. Tottenham have won it. Yeah.
Come on, you Spurs.
Do you know what I mean, Paul? That was what I meant. Everyone was one.
Yeah.
Everyone was sort of together. Oh, Lord. Well, look.
I think if there was one game I could have gone to that I didn't go to, it would have been this one over 81. Because it was at home. It was Keith's last game. It was just, I don't know, there's something special about it. To have been on the shelf that night would have been incredible.
Can you imagine going into the summer?
10 foot tall all year, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Do you know what? Should I play the sound? See what? I don't think I'll get done.
And no wonder. Good grief. The smile as broad as White Hart Lane.
And you didn't get Steve Perryman putting on a kit to lift the cup either. Not like that John Terry knobbing.
I know. Thomas. There's only one Danny Thomas.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Thomas. There's only one Danny Thomas.
Oh, look at this. Look at him.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh.
And Spurs have won the UEFA Cup.
Amazing. Look at him.
Do you know what? You could go all the back 72 when we won it at home against Wolves. And it was a heavy old feckin' thing as well.
Huge, isn't it? Look at it.
Heavy cup to carry after so much effort for Spurs right through the night.
Here's Matt.
Like a night of disaster.
Paul Miller.
Thomas.
Night of triumph.
Mickey Hazard.
Mike Hazard, who's had a tremendous game in the midfield.
Mickey Hazard's chin.
Steve Perryman.
Steve Perryman lifts the
There we go.
captain who was out through suspension.
Well, there you go, folks. That was it. That was
Happy days.
1984 UEFA Cup final. 2 hours and 30 minutes of pure Spurs delight. It really was. You had your ups, you had your downs, you had Danny Thomas missing a penalty, you had my computer fucking up half the time, you had Paul running in and out checking, do you know, what was Berkshire up to, talking into his hero, saying, do this, Keith, do that. And at the end of it, Spurs win a trophy. Now we can end off this season quite happily. Now we've won in Europe and we can go into the summer now, Paul, and try to get on. And then we wake up and realise it was only a dream.
Huh.
To be only young again. See, Paul's that excited. He's gone. But no, big up. Catman Jess. Can't wait to hear those. No, neither can I. But listen, thanks very much for watching. Oh, the poll. I will end the poll. And, okay, here, Paul, we've got the end of the poll here. The poll is, if the poll would like to come up. Okay, the poll is not coming up. But anyway, the 1981 FA Cup final won the poll. So
fair enough.
Fair enough. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, here we go. 1981, 50%, 1991, 30%, 82 and 84, both 10%. Look, I hope you've enjoyed this. Looks like a lot of people have, to be fair.
Nice.
So, Paul, next week, Paul, where would you like to go? You picked a decade. Do you want to go back to the 70s? Do you want to go back to the 60s?
Oh, I'd have to have a think, man. I'd have to have a think. I'd leave it up to you, man, because I don't know. I like seeing games that I was at, and I like seeing games that are before my time as well, to learn a bit more about the old players.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Next Monday when we do Newsbeat, I'll do the same thing. I'll put it into a poll. And every Tuesday, this will be the Golden Game night.
What about the 63 Cup Winners' Cup? That weren't a bad game.
That's where we're going. We're going all the way back to 63 now. Me and Paul are going to go back to the swinging 60s, and you know, we're going to get on our Beatles haircut and look a bit like the 60s. And that's where we're going back there. Yeah, might have Ellie join us for that. Ellie or me, or can we drag Philip Brady on for it, the drummer on for it. He's drumming tonight now in Dublin. I've just got a few comments here. Big up Paul from Catman Jess. Big up Catman Jess. Great stream. Thanks, Dermot, and thanks, Paul. Thanks, pleasure. Guys. Enjoy doing them. Catman Jess. Big up Dermot. Big up Catman Jess. And Swim Master says, good night, everyone. Great stream. Thanks, Dermot and Paul, with memories and chats. Look, I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Especially when you know you're going to win as well. But I don't know. I find it weird. Like, I still, it's almost like my brain doesn't fully understand we've won the game, and I still get excited watching it for some dumb reason.
I don't know. Halfway through that match, right, I was really into it. I was going, come on. Yeah, Catman just says we get some more Jimmy Greaves masterclass. Woo! Yeah, we will next week. We're going back to the 60s, and why not? Listen, I should do this in order, actually. Start the 60s, go to the 70s, 80s, but we just had to start with a bit of Tony Parks, didn't we? But listen, Paul, where can people find you, sir?
Oh, nowhere really. I'll just pop up here and there. Yeah. It's roaming around.
Be careful of that roaming around.
Yeah, I quite like doing it that way. I can see what channels I like to come on and which ones, you know, bit how you going, you know. I like the more laid back sort of easygoing kind of approach to streaming. So that's why I like this channel.
Yeah, well, look, I think tonight we've hit a milestone, actually.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's either going to be tonight or tomorrow, but we have hit a bit of a milestone, everyone. Let me just double check your channel. Yeah, tonight is our 400th video.
Oh, right.
Well, it says 399, so I'm not sure if this is the 400th or Newsbeat tomorrow is going to be the 400th, but either tonight or tomorrow is our 400th video. So we've reached a bit of a milestone on the channel. So
that's only slightly more than Eric Dyer appearances for Tottenham, isn't it?
And we actually defend better than Eric Dyer. On that bombshell, we're going to end it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's really been such a gas. Paul, thank you so much. Hopefully see you on again very soon, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was a lot of fun, Dermot. Great stuff.
And then next week, me and Paul are heading back to the swinging 60s where everything was a bit cool and a bit calm, and Bill Nick was in the dressing room depressing the players before the match, and it had to take a Danny Blanchflower. Can I just show a very quick video before we go of Graham Roberts when he got into the dressing room? This is what he did.
Oh dear.
Oh, dear. I believe this would be the 400th. It would turn the foot. All right, so this is the 400th. So yeah, tonight's our 400th. Do you know what, Paul? You're right up my alley. I love doing streams with you. Do you know, me have actually got the same sense of humour. Actually. Oh, please come on, St. Patrick's Day night. It'd be a great fucking stream. We're actually going to discuss about the moon landing, UFOs, and every conspiracy theory out there.
Oh dear. I don't know if my head can cope with that, man.
Well, like, is Eric Dyer a defender? That's the biggest conspiracy theory.
Is Eric Dyer a human?
I don't know. Anyway,
or was he constructed in some laboratory somewhere in Minsk?
Him and Sanchez were built together.
Yeah. They were, you know, I think they cut a few corners when they were doing the circuits. It's like, oh, well, we could use this, or, oh, I've got an old ZX81, that'll do. Bung that in.
Do that. All right. You stop.
Davison Sanchez, man, come on.
You can imagine, couldn't you? They were designing. Now, how can we make the world's greatest defenders? What time is it? Shit, I've only got 5 minutes for the end of my shift. All right, just stick it all together down when it comes out.
Got speak and spell and an etch a sketch. There we go.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. There'll be orange juice involved. I love Derby.
It sucks though. You've just seen Graham Roberts and Paul Miller defending like no one's business, and then fast forward to no wonder we're stuck in the past, Dermot. I mean, what are kids? Are people going to be in 30 or 40 years' time? They're going to be looking back on, that Eric Dyer. Oh, he was a brick wall in defence. Was it? Oh God!
You can imagine. You can imagine them sort of when they were putting them together. Now, do we make him like Graham Roberts, or what time is it for? Just fucking put it together. Look the hell how it comes out. We can do good on the PR. Yeah.
We've got his language chip in. He can speak 11 languages. Can't fucking kick a ball, but
no. Anyway, look, we're back tomorrow at 4 with Newsbeat. I think me and Philip Brady are back, and then we're back tomorrow evening with a watch along for the Champions League. I don't know if Paul wants to join me for that, where we're sort of doing around the grounds with Champions League and just talking football with Tottenham. Thursday, we're back with Newsbeat and a debate show. Friday, we're doing the St. Patrick's Day special, I think, at some point during the street day. And then Saturday, we're doing around the ground. Sunday, we're doing the post-match. And then Monday, we're back again with another week's of content. We've got loads of stuff coming up and loads of new content coming up as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I had a blast. Thank you, Paul. For joining me trip down memory lane. And whatever you do, look after yourself. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we sort of trust.